I'll call this Bang Bang. Seriously?
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. Pull up, bitch.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up.
Objection. Objection.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. KO. Bang bang.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. You're a bitch, bro.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. Right?
Yeah.
The bang bang, the bang bang, pull up. The bang bang, the bang bang, pull up.
Bang, bang.
Right?
Yeah.
The bang bang, the bang bang, pull up. The bang bang, the bang bang.
Bang, bang. Bang, bang. Bang, bang.
All right, Mr. Lally, your next witness, please.
Yes, Your Honor, the Commonwealth will call Trooper Michael Proctor to the stand. State your name and spell your last name for the jury.
Michael Proctor, 𝗺𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃.
You're a bitch, bro.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up.
I'm going to allow it.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up.
I'm going to allow it.
Bang, bang.
My name is Aidan Kearney, also known as Turtleboy.
He is a senior editor for Turtleboy Daily News.
I'm a big fan.
We've broken hundreds of stories that the mainstream media won't touch.
Some blogger in Massachusetts who's getting to the bottom of this better than anybody.
Why is it Turtleboy that is covering such important issues? Where is the rest of the media?
You need to not say that you were gonna take my baby out of revenge and make him a transgender baby.
Stop it.
Don't you want to ask some questions? I know you do.
I do. I
know
have
you
that.
People don't like the things that I say and want me to stop saying them, but I won't. I'm never gonna stop. These are the kind of stories that must be told.
And I will not be intimidated. I will not be silenced. And we will continue on our journey for justice for John O'Keefe and for Karen Reed.
Tick, tick, boom. Boys, go baby, we bringing out toys. Boys, chop up the singing, should be on the voice. Bang, bang, we gon' ride out. Gang, gang, we don't die out. Want it like this, ain't no timeouts. Tell me who really gon' find out.
We be disturbing the peace, working, we serving the streets.
Karen Reed has supporters who've shown up in large numbers.
Tick, tick, boom.
Hard body, and not scaring nobody. You make me resort to wildin'. You must be blind by the diamonds. I didn't want it to be this way, but y'all won't need to try this, so it's no way around it. You the loudest one, it's going quiet. We be disturbing the peace, working, we serving the streets. About to go going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep.
This is the first time I think I've ever seen this. An outpouring of support for someone accused of murdering a Boston police officer. Unbelievable situation. Never seen anything like it.
Tick, tick, boom.
You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me?
We be disturbing the peace, working, we serving the streets. About to go going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep. It's go, 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 go time.
Boom. All right, hold on. Hold on. We're struggling here. We're struggling. All right, we're going to get this. All right, hold on. Can we get... Okay, I'm disappearing into the screen. We're already starting with this shit. We just started. Hold on. Time out. Oh. No, too much. No, too much. Okay. How about that? Look at that. Nice and crisp. What's up, people? How's everyone doing out there tonight? Welcome to the live show, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Aidan Kearney. I'm an award-winning journalist, a satirist, if you will, an activist, generally dominating all aspects of life. But anyway, you can call me a variety of names. You can call me, what else could you call me? Clarence Woods Emerson. You can call me, it's my Facebook account. Follow me on there. I do some bus stop lives in the morning. You can call me Uncle Turtleboy. Old school turtle riders are known to do that. You can call me, what else can you call me? Oh, doctor. I prefer doctor, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. I've earned the title, and I feel like, whatever. Seeing a lot of talk about colon. Hopefully keep your colons under control tonight. Okay, colon. All the colons. Semicolon. I don't know. You could call me daddy if you'd like. It's not mandatory, but it is allowable. I will allow you to call me daddy. I can understand that could be a little weird for some people, but some people might like it. I think some people like calling me daddy. So you could call me 𝗃𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗀𝗃 if you want. That's my true crime name. Journalism Jesus. I don't care what you call me. Just be here every Tuesday and Saturday night, usually Tuesday and Saturday night at 9 p.m. And make sure you smash that subscribe button. We're getting a lot more subscribers lately. That's great news, And what's wrong with my eyes? Somebody saying my eyes look weird. I don't know. My eyes all fucked up. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I'm also Clay's daddy too, or was. Well, actually, I'll always be Clay's daddy. What is that little fucker? It was a good run we had. It was a good run, me and Clay. Anyway, guys, yeah, so that's that. If you guys want to have your messages read out loud to the class tonight, there's a lot of people in here right now. Oh, we're over 4,000 people already. Nice. There's a lot to talk about tonight, man. Like, we're doing Turtle Club tomorrow. As you know, I usually do shows on Tuesdays, but Tuesday was an interesting night. Yeah, it went to, I think we all saw the news today. So that was Tuesday, but I wasn't going to do the show on Tuesday night anyway, because it's just too much of a pain in the ass. It was the night before a huge, the Karen Reed thing and my motion to dismiss. And I just couldn't lug around all the, I'm like, I'll just save it till Wednesday. There'll be a lot to talk about Wednesday. And then yesterday happens. I lost my goddamn key, my car key. And I don't have AAA. And my backup key was here, and I'm in Boston. So I'm like, I got to go from Boston to, Worcester County to get my replacement key, and then drive back to Boston, and then drive back to here. It was like 4 hours of driving. Like, it was horrible, but I made it back, and we're doing the show tonight. So we're going to do Turtle Club tomorrow night, sex cult, as we call that, at 9 o'clock. Yeah. I mean, it was no different from Paul O'Keefe. I did something that Paul O'Keefe does every day before, he takes a stand. So it's not that big a deal. It's not that big a deal, but, people are saying the videos out there. I don't even want to talk about this. I don't know what's out there or what's not. I don't really care. It's just stupid. It's a distraction. And the only thing I'll say about that is I had no idea I was being audio recorded. Like, none. Because in Massachusetts, it's a two-party consent state. People have surveillance cameras up outside of their homes, right? In their businesses. A lot of people have surveillance cameras at their businesses. And, because they want bad guys come. They want to on film, get their picture and stuff like that. But in Massachusetts, it's a two-party consent state. So if you record somebody else audio, if you intercept the audio and the other party doesn't know that you're doing it, then it's secretive, right? And that's what the wiretapping statute says, is secretive audio interception. And so I had no idea, none, that anything I said was picked up by any sort of, recording device. Let's just put it that way. And when you do that, that's actually a felony when you do that. So apparently they're getting their evidence feloniously. Apparently that's what they're doing. It's not the first time. If you recall, on December 23rd, 2023, the infamous night that led me to 60 days in the can, in the police report, Tully says that that Mello was on the phone with the fake victim. She was with me in the conference room of her luxury apartment that the government pays for. And she called Mello and he was on the line and I didn't know it. I was right next to her. And then they three-wayed in Tully, and Tully writes in his report that they were all just trying to listen in. It's like, bro, that's wiretapping. You secretly are listening in on my conversations. According to the law, that's what it is. So, I had no idea I was being recorded. Like if I knew I was being recorded, I would have said a fucking thing. Period. So that's all I gotta say about that. None. We like miming. I thought we were doing a mime thing, but anyway, so it's stupid. It's just a distraction. Boys will be boys. We went to the hillside after that, and apparently people were taking pictures of us there too. I knew that was going to happen. The hillside is like the biggest towny bar in Canton. It's where Karen Reed, it's where that picture of Chris Albert, Brian Albert, and John O'Keefe was taken a week before he died. The only picture of Brian Albert with John O'Keefe was taken a week before at the hillside. And the hillside's like the big towny bar. You know what I mean? Illegal miming. Yeah. I felt so bad for Will and Nan, because I met Nan, who, by the way, I could just talk about Nan all night. Nan is awesome. I've never had her on my show, and we discussed that already. And, you kind of like it that way. It's like, she's like, I like your show when you're by yourself. Like, I don't think you should have guests. I don't think it. And because Nan's been making the rounds, you know what I mean? She's been doing the free Karen Reed circuit, if you will, on YouTube, going on everybody, going this show, whatever. And, it's the only one she hasn't really been on is mine. And so we discussed that, and she kind of wants to keep it that way. And I'm like, you know what? I respect that. So, but she's just a wonderful lady. Let me tell you that much. And she's passionate about justice, and she's a great conversationalist. And, she got a couple, we relate. Our kids are almost born on the same days and shit. Like, that was wild. They almost have the same exact birthday. Actually, she has two kids and they have the same birthday. Can you believe that? She has two kids. I mean, you know what the odds of that are? 1 in 365 to be exact. But, yeah, so that we had a good time, and I'll say this about CF McCarthy's, man. The French fries there are the best. Just the best, just the tops. And I'm going to miss that the most, because I agreed to some stay away orders today that prevent me from going within 100 yards of D&E pizza, which, I'm fine with. I don't want to get their crappy chicken parm. Mediocre. Okay. Mediocre. I don't want that. But, at CF McCarthy's, man, those are some good French fries, man. Everybody should try them. And I had this brisket sandwich there. Oh, grilled cheese. Like, it was so good. It was so good. So it was like my last supper at CF McCarthy's. I can't ever eat there again. Well, until this is all over. I can't ever eat there again, but I'm going to miss it. I've been there 3 times. It was great. Every time I went, it was really fun. So then we went to the hillside, like, which I said is the towny bar. And we go in there, and, it's me, Will, Nan, Meredith, and Laura Murray. And Mazza was with us earlier, but he called it an early night. And so we went to the towny bar and walk in there, and I assume everybody immediately knows who I am. It's like, oh, probably on their phones texting. There's a couple group of tables, some guys. I don't know who's who. I didn't recognize anyone. I did meet some lovely people there. I met the Currans. Do you guys know who the Currans are? The Currans are friends of Karen Reed and are on her witness list. they hung out socially with John and Karen together. Like she liked them. And so I met them for the first time, and they were telling me that, you know, like basically in this town, like they talk about you intimidating people. They were like, us and the Beatties, Tom Beatty's family, have been completely socially ostracized, like in this town, because we won't side with them. Like they're literally the biggest bullies. And it's like, and that's what I've been standing up against this whole time, guys, is like, I'm standing up to the bullies, and I've paid a price for it, as you can see, because these aren't regular bullies. Like regular bullies just flip you upside down and give you a swirly, or maybe they give you a wedgie or something, take your lunch money. Their bullies are usually like simple, you know what I mean? Simple people. Whereas these bullies are, you know, like they have some enforcers in their group, right? They get in fights. Obviously, they've been known to kill. But on top of that, they have connections. Like that's the scariest part about these bullies, is the connections that they have. Like to the people who have all the guns. Like that's ultimately, it doesn't matter how tough you are. The people with the guns are tougher. And the people with all the guns are the police, in case you guys didn't know that. Like they have an arsenal of weapons. The police do. They can have whatever guns that you can't have, they can have, you know. And then there's the army, which obviously has more guns than them, but the police, local, like they're stacked. They got all the guns. And so if you can control the people with all the guns, oh boy, you know, you are much more powerful than any bully who's just going to kick your ass, you know, something like that. Like these are, yeah, like if you have Brian Tully on speed dial as your personal, you know, state police lieutenant, you have significant amounts of power. You know, you have significant amounts to scare people, to intimidate people. And I'll tell you this much right now. You know, Brian Tully put in his police report for this incident that he wanted me arrested. He's like, I would like to have a warrant to arrest him. Did you guys notice there were so many cops there yesterday when we were down there? There were so many cops down there. And it was like more than normal. And now I know why. Because he put in this thing. He applied for this criminal complaint at like, I don't know, 11, 12, something like that. And these are just rubber stamped. You know, when a police applies for something like that, they just get rubber stamped. And he put on there arrest. Because not everything's an arrestable thing. Like often there's just a summons. Most of them are just summons. But he's like, I want an arrest because this guy fucking is obsessed with putting me in handcuffs. He loves it. Like they're just sick, sadistic people. Now, you know, I guess lesson learned, I guess stay away from Canton, right? I'm good. And I've seen a lot of the comments, guys. I've seen a lot of the comments from you people. And a lot of you people have said, I'm disappointed in him. You know, he went to, what's he doing that the night before? This big thing. And you know what? You're not wrong. Okay. You're not wrong. It's a fair point. Right. I didn't do anything wrong, but there are ways to avoid, if you know that these powerful people in Canton are trying to, you know, put you in jail, maybe stay away from Canton. You know what I mean? Maybe stay away from Canton. Like that's an option. But, you know, honestly, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. We had a gift card. We had a gift card, $100 gift card to C.F. McCarthy's, which we didn't even use because Nan paid for everything. Nan's like the sugar mama. Like it's amazing. Like we had $100. We were like, no, Nan takes care of it. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. And that's not the reason I like Nan. It's nice, but it's not the reason I like Nan. So anyway, yeah, so like I get it. I've seen those comments. Oh, what's he doing down there? He does this to himself, blah, blah, blah. It's self-inflicted. Just like kind of when I went to the fake victim's house. You know what I mean? But the French fries are so good. You know, like I remember, they're just so fucking good. Oh, and people are like, why was clear this shit up? Okay. So I'll get to that in a second. Whoever asked that question about the crying. So we, so that's, you know, so yeah. And that's one of the first things the reporter asked me on the steps today of the courthouse stairs from WCVB asked me, your lawyer said it was unwise of you to go to C.F. McCarthy's. Do you agree with that? I didn't know what to say. I'm like, if I say yes, I don't want to say yes to that because I don't think I did anything wrong. So I didn't know the right answer to that question. So I'm just like, but I'm like thinking in my head, like, well, I guess I'd rather not be here right now. Like I ended up here, so that's not good. But I still did nothing wrong. Like, you know what I mean? Like I wasted a nice day. Like it was really nice out today. And I did go running when I got home. But I didn't get any work done. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get some work done. Like there's a whole hearing, a major hearing that happened Tuesday that I didn't get to write about. I didn't get to analyze properly because I'm dealing with this shit. Like another thing that's thrown onto the freaking pile. Just add it on. But like it's all the same shit. It's general. This is weaker than anything else. It all goes along with the same shit that like you can't ask questions in this country anymore. You're not like if you are like there's not. Have you guys seen the tape? I haven't seen it. I mean, I have seen it because it was sent to us by police, but I don't know if it's been aired. You know, but again, didn't even know. So anyway, then from there, we went to the hillside, like I said, big towny bar, go in there. Currents are there, great people, blah, blah, blah. And some people have because we were miming for a bit. In case you didn't see, we were doing some miming. Because I didn't think of that audio. We were miming. I'm not apologizing because I did nothing wrong. You know what I mean? But, you know, I've just seen a lot of people in the comments say like, oh, he did this to himself, blah, 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 you know. Anyway, I've seen the video, but I haven't seen I don't know what the news is aired or not. I still haven't watched the other. Oh, we know what video you're talking about. We know. And Flipperhead, people like, oh, and Joe, and I'm getting off track here, but I did not realize that Joe Flipperhead was from The Town, the movie The Town. I watch a lot of movie clips on my YouTube when I'm bored sometimes. And like, I love The Town. The Town is like my favorite Boston movie of all time. And I did not realize that was from The Town. There's like a quick little mention of somebody named Joe Flipperhead. I'm like, oh, that's where he got it from? Shit. Yeah, Flipperhead has been on fire lately. Flipperhead's great. Joe Flipperhead's great. I like seeing men involved in this movement because this is a majority female movement. If you guys noticed that, like I went to my hearing yesterday and it was all chicks. You know what I mean? It was all women. And that's great. I love to see it. It's just, I like to see when men are involved in defense of Karen Read because it's like I think a lot of women empathize with Karen Read, but I like to see men doing it because it's like, it's like chivalry isn't dead. You know what I mean? Like men are standing up for this and people like Joe, people like the orange Kool-Aid guy who are just so gung ho. Karen Read is innocent. Like I love those people. You know what I mean? People like Will, like people like Mike, like, oh, you know what I mean? That's what we need. In men, strong men in the Karen Read movement. We have a ton because this is definitely like, if I were to poll my audience right now, I'll just do a quick poll. Let's do a quick poll. I wonder what percent of my audience is. I bet you it's well more than 50% female. I'm just guessing. Start a poll. Okay. Okay. Are you a man or a woman? No non-binary, none of the non-binos. Okay. The non-bi, you don't count. Okay. You can't, if you're one today, you're a man today, you're a woman tomorrow, that doesn't, just pick one. Whatever the one's on your birth certificate. Look at that. See, 83% of people watching right now, 1,000 votes, 1,300 votes are in. 82% of people are women. See, this is like do you guys notice that? So it's not just me. This is a female-dominated movement. It is, and that's great. It is. But I do like seeing, you know, people like Joe Flipperhead, who is like from Philadelphia, and people like the orange Kool-Aid guys from Baltimore. You know, and they're just like I'd never met either of them, but I would imagine what they look like. I would imagine like they wear a lot of cutoff t-shirts, you know, in the summer. Like I would imagine those guys and mesh shorts and, you know, they work with their hands, I would guess. And so that's what we need, like alpha men. You know what I mean? That's what we need in this movement. We need vocally, you know, men. We need a lot of men in this movement. So anyway, so what else was I saying? Oh yeah. So at the bar, so these trolls have posted these pictures of, Meredith crying. Have you guys seen that? And I'm in the background smiling. And I don't like somebody at the hillside took that picture and they're like, oh, what did he do to her? Did he beat her? This and that. It's like sometimes guys, like just sometimes people have shit going on in their lives and they cry. Like it's like and I didn't even know because her back was to me. I'm sitting over here. I'm so deep in conversation with Nan. I was so into Nan that night, all things Nan, that I didn't, her back is to me. And so I didn't even notice it was happening. And sometimes people get drunk and they get a little emotional about other things that are going on in their lives. Okay. So like, relax, relax. Everything's cool. But anyway, so that's the end of that. Okay, cool. I know, right? Like people can't be sad. Like people can't be going through some shit and it's kind of like none of your business. And like sometimes when women are talking to other women, all the emotions come out and shit like that. And they've been holding, you know what I mean? It's like they got shit in their lives. Like that's it. Like it's not a big deal. We don't know who took pictures of her. We don't know. But I expected that to happen because we went into the goddamn hillside. We went into enemy territory. Like we knew that was going to happen. I figured there was going to be people in there who were hostile to us. Nobody says anything to your face, of course. But that's what I'm saying. Like it was a night. We had a night. Let's just put it that. There's no other way to describe it. It was a night. I didn't make it to Kearney's federal courthouse in the morning. It was just not happening. I also lost my key. I don't know where my fucking key is. So that's a problem. But we got home. So I had the key to get home. I didn't drive, obviously. Obviously, I'm not stupid. Anyway, just your average Tuesday in Canton. Anyway, so yeah, that was my night, Tuesday night. And Wednesday we're going to talk about, oh my God, so much shit would happen Wednesday. Like I've consumed most of the Canton motion to dismiss hearing, but this was a good one, man. There were some doozies in there. It was a good day. And now this fucking dog guy got in, and then the fucking juror comes out and reveals herself. Like all this shit's happening. And Fanning owns a corporation with Colleen Crawford. I'm like, what's going on? Content overload. And meanwhile, I'm dealing with fucking miming videos and shit like that. And bail. So yeah, Bev started out. She was in a mood, it seemed. And of course, I didn't get to see any of this because I'm dealing with my motion dismissed downstairs. We're going to watch all of this shit. So whatever we don't get to tonight, we're going to get to tomorrow night on Turtle Club at Sex Cult. And then we'll get to more on Saturday. And I'm sure there will be more. Ronnie's going on, NBC. He's turning into he's like Jordan. He's making the rounds, doing the interviews. Everybody likes Ronnie. He's a nice guy, because ultimately Ronnie was on the right side. Like he wavered a little bit there, but ultimately Ronnie came around, and it sounds like no matter what interview he's doing, he's saying he's a not guilty voter. So good for him for being on ultimately the right side there. So anyway, all right. So let's see here. So again, if you want to have your messages read out loud to the class, you can click a link at the top for Turtle Chat, or you can cash at me at $ Uncle Turtleboy. Whatever money you pay for. And these are not donations, Cosgrove, because Cosgrove, that motherfucker, that slimy motherfucker called them. He begs for donations. He said he thought he was being slick there. He's turning like he thought, bro, you're too old to troll, Kazi. You're too old. Have you seen your shoes, pal? Have you seen the shoes you wear to court? You can't make fun of anyone, dude. You cannot make fun of anyone. Triple dip Cosgrove. I know. You're sucking off the taxpayers' titties left and right, and you're having a great time doing it. I get it. You got it. You should be on a boat somewhere enjoying your freedom instead of defending scumbags and declaring war on the First Amendment, Kazi. But he's just so whack. He's just not cool. But anyway, like I said, whatever amount you want to give, I will read it out loud to the class. Let's see what we got so far. All right. First, we got Nicole sends $10, goes, hey, Dr. Daddy, despite all the nonsense with these new charges, it seems like the judge was a fair one and is leaning towards dismissing your charges. I'm praying it all works out. Hashtag free Karen Reed. Hashtag fuck Spanky. Hashtag free our mime daddy. I know I'm a mime. You put enough sangrias in me and I will mime. But yeah, anyway, I don't want to say I like the judge because that's when it sounds like, oh, then he's like your Auntie Bev. I think he's fair. So far, I thought his questioning was fair. The things that he was asking indicate that he has a genuine interest in this case and wants to get to the bottom of it and discuss the legality of all this and see if what I did really was a crime or is probable cause for a crime and whether or not these charges should stick. So he is going to have the option now to drop all the charges, drop some of the charges, or drop none of the charges. We're prepared for whatever. If he drops none of the charges, there are other motions, I believe, motions. We can do another motion to dismiss, I think, for selective prosecution, which is probably going to be the strongest argument we have for this. We can do that one. Or we go to trial. I'm not afraid of a trial with any of these people. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh, my God. And to be clear, I will take the stand in my own trial. Like, there will be no way I don't. Then if he knocks off some, like, let's suppose he knocks off, okay, the ones I think order of likelihood, he's going to knock them off. Which one do you guys think, which of the victims do you guys think is going to be the most likely to have the charges dropped against them? Which one do you guys think is going to be most likely? What do you guys say? You got to be specific. There's multiple McCabe's, multiple Alberts, multiple Proctors. You got to be specific with if you say Proctors too. The bagel, cops are saying. I'm not seeing the one that I think is most likely to go. I think the one that's most likely to go is 𝗵𝗵𝗺. There it is. Yeah. Even though you spelled it wrong. Yeah. 𝗵𝗵𝗺. I mean, that one's the weakest. That one is like, dude, are you kidding me? He called him 𝗵𝗵𝗺 loser for 60 seconds outside of the courthouse. And he's intimidated. Like, judge asked him about that. Like, is he really intimidated? They're like, well, he's a big, strong man, but he's sensitive. Like, he's very sensitive, and he was very intimidated, Your Honor. Like, is he going to say that on the stand? That he's is he actually going to do that? Is he actually going to eviscerate his own manhood like that? Is he really going to do that? Because it ain't going to work. And also, he had a gun. I don't know if they know that. Like, and what kind of man, like, what kind of cop is afraid of some guy with a megaphone if he's armed? Like, if the guy with the megaphone's not armed, you are armed. How the hell is he scared of me? That doesn't make any sense. So anyway, I think he's going to be the most likely to go away. And then I think Michael Proctor after that. They have to do the cops first. I mean, he's disgraced. The evidence against me with him is it's based on a lie that somebody spit on his driveway and parked on his lawn. Like, there's fucking video. There's video of it all. Like, how is that? It's ridiculous. So I think he's going to be number 2. Then after that, I think Colin is ridiculous. It's all based off of the Bang Bang video. And once you see the Bang Bang video, which we've entered in as exhibits, and my impression of it, like, that's the entirety of the indictment is the Bang Bang video. That one's got to go, obviously. And then there's the, what else was there? After that, I think, what's that most likely after that? I guess I would say Lizzie Proctor, because she did this. First of all, she's not a witness. She's a family member of a witness. And what her company, not her, like her company got some negative Facebook reviews after she did the same thing to other people. Like, are you kidding me? No one was harassing her because she was a witness or a family member was a witness. People were just giving her company bad reviews and like letting them know, expressing their opinion that she should be fired. Like, you're allowed to have that opinion. It's called cancel culture. It's been a thing ever since Trump came into office, like for the first time, like cancel culture. Everybody knows cancel culture. She was canceled. She didn't even get canceled. So there's her. And then I would say after that, I would have to say Matt McCabe, because the Matt McCabe one it's like, he's kind of like a tag along with it. Like, all this shit is with his wife. Like, he was like the incident at the 𝗵𝗂𝗧𝗂𝗍 lacrosse game. I didn't ask him any questions. I asked her questions. You know, I didn't ask him why he Googled it. He was just like, hey, tough guy, how you been? You know, he's clearly not scared at all. Not scared at all. And, you know, the one earlier on that I was most worried about was Julie Nagel, simply because I didn't know anything about the bagel. You know, she wasn't like the others, like out there acting like a douchebag. And then the Steve McCarthy's incident happened on June 23rd. And she yelled, what did she yell about? Me, I molest my own children or something like that. Like, how are you going to say you're intimidated when you're out there acting like that? And all I said was tell the truth. Like, what's wrong with the truth? You know, the two that I think are the least likely to get dismissed are Jennifer McCabe. Jennifer McCabe would be the least likely, I think, to be, even though she's the least deserving of it. Just simply because she plays the victim better than anybody. Like, her whole, it's all bullshit, but she plays the victim better than anyone. You know, you saw her on the stand. I'm shock and horror. Oh my God. Oh yeah. I am a victim. She can't wait to revel in. And Chris is the same way. Chris Albert's, it's the same thing. These two relish in victimhood, but we don't have a tape of her telling me I'm going to bash your head up and down the sidewalk like we do with Chris. Like, we have that. And we got to mention it in court today for the first time. So that was cool. But anyway, yeah, Will texted me. He said he has his demographic. He has 77% women. Looks like I have 80%. So I got more chicks. There it is. All right. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, we'll see. Maybe if we have to take a couple of them to trial, it's just a lot easier, you know, to crack these down, and it's just going nowhere, you know. But I think there's a chance he could dismiss all of them. We're not dealing. You have to remember, we're not dealing with Auntie Bev. When Auntie Bev, you know what she's going to do. You knew she was going to let this fake dog doctor in. Like, you knew that was going to happen. You knew that was going to happen. Yeah. And 𝗵𝗵𝗄𝗃 made his debut in court today. Apparently he watches 𝗵𝗵𝗄𝗃, because he does, you know, or he gets sent the clips. Like, he's obviously working with Krusty. So what else was I saying? Yeah. So if they all get dismissed, I thought he was fair, you know, and I liked some of the questions he asked. He seemed like a thoughtful person. And I think anyone looking at this fairly knows this is bullshit. This is bullshit. Nobody's terrorized. Nobody's terrorized. And so, yeah, there's that. Okay. Let me read some more turtle chats. Michael sends $10. Says, I'm a male CDL driver from the South Shore of Karen. From the South Shore, in full support of Karen. I love to see it. Fuck them McCabe scum and the rest of them too. Fuck you, Fanning. Fuck you, Bev. The list of cunts is too long, but I got Karen's back and yours, Doc. I appreciate that. I appreciate seeing that. And that's not to diminish the role of men. There's a lot of great men involved in this that, you know, escort Karen in and out of court all the time and are there for her. And chief amongst them, of course, are Nathan and Bill Reed, you know, who are there every time for their family member. So I appreciate that. Steve sends $25, says, Turtle, we know they're shitting themselves. So upping the fight against you and Karen, you're both innocent, powerful people. I appreciate that. We are. I don't think they're shitting themselves anymore. I think this news of the federal shit has made them feel stronger, right? Again, I've long said that not long said, but I said when this first came out, it wouldn't surprise me if the federal investigations hit a dead end and they're not actively working on it. I think that's what happened. And so, I think they got away with murder. And I've always said this, they might. They might. And if they do, they do. I mean, what can you do? They wouldn't be the first people to get away with it, So, whatever. I mean, it's like, it's hard to indict people when all the evidence is gone, when the police didn't do a proper investigation. They're the reason that John O'Keefe will never have justice, will never get justice. He might, but there's a good chance he won't. But I'll tell you one thing, Karen Reed going to prison is not going to get him any sort of justice. So we fight on, don't we? Next up, Nikki sends $25, goes, 𝗃𝗃 told me he's 6'7", 275. Real manly. Is he really? That's wild if he is. That's wild. So thank you very much there. All right, next up, Sarah sends $25 and goes, Canoni baloney. Hashtag time for the great president of the United States to step in. Oh, geez. It put a stop to these schmucks, especially the head snake Canoni. Watching and supporting from Barrie, Ontario, Turtleboy. You're a champ. Keep up the good fight. We all know who's on the right side. Yeah, I mean, if you're counting on Donald Trump, I hate that, I voted for Donald Trump, but he ain't going to save it. It's just not, this is micro. He deals with macro, like they're fighting much different fights. And they're not going to step in a state murder investigation, no matter how corrupt it is, It's not going to happen. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't exactly. Like, it doesn't. If it was like, it would honestly be better if Michael Morrissey was named Rachel Rollins instead. Like, that would be better. Because that would give him like a reason to go after or something like that. Or if like whoever, if somebody involved in this was like wicked anti-Trump, then it would give him a lot more motivation, I think, to get involved. But this is an apolitical thing. And that's the downfall of an apolitical thing, is you're not going to get any powerful political people to back you. That's why we haven't really seen much from anyone in the state house regarding this issue, because it's apolitical. And it's, too bad. It's like, I see like Trump getting elected again. It's like, so that's the end of Andrea Campbell. Like, as soon as Trump got elected, they were just like, now that's all they tweet about. They never see Andrea Birchmore. Forget about it. You will never hear her name from any of those people. They are too busy talking about Trump 24/7. And Caroline Leavitt, you know what I mean? Like, the Twitter account we used to talk on was her personal Twitter account. Now she's press secretary at @PressSec. So I don't think I'm going to be talking to her for a while. Like, she sent me that lovely message when I was arrested. And so I know, but again, she's graduated. You know what I mean? Like, it's Washington. It's not Massachusetts anymore. You know what I mean? But anyway, next up, Kelly, if Chloe bit, you must have quit. Sends $25. Goes, hats off to you, sir. Keep fighting the good fight. We've got your back. I'm sorry this is happening to you, Karen, and everyone else by this corruption-filled cesspool county that is the laughingstock of the nation. Free Karen Reed and free Dr. Turtleboy. Well, thank you very much. And I said it outside of court today. It's knowing that you have all these people who have your back, knowing that everybody watching knows what absolute bullshit this is. And you just need a judge to see through the bullshit. And listening to Robert Cosgrove get up there and bullshit his way through it and lie and make these people seem like, oh, it's just, we've all seen them before. We all know what fucking liars they are, Just the fact that they're pretending that they're victims is just wild to me, But anyway, thank you for that one. But knowing that I have all these people out there makes me feel a million times better. So thank you. Brittany sends $10. Goes, do you think the judge will believe that you did not know about the audio recording? Do your attorneys believe this will affect the motion to dismiss? Well, why wouldn't they? Like, it's illegal you have to tell somebody you're recording audio. So the default assumption is I'm not being recorded, right? Because I have to be alerted that I'm being recorded. So why wouldn't they? It's like, it's true. There's no signs there saying anything about that. you know? All right, next up. Katrina sends $5 and says, so doctor, now that we never given Chicken Parm Charlie's Pride and Joy a nickname. I like Bang Bang colon, which is kind of what happens when you eat a meal of food at D&E. I mean, how did he call him colon that many times? Colon? Was he trolling him? Like, he knows that's not a name, right? He knows that, like, Colin is kind of a popular name. It's definitely not uncommon. You know, Colin is, I guess, a normal name. A lot of people are named Colin. And, like, what? Colin? Like, I'm like, well, he said it once. I'm like, whew. And then he just kept saying it over and over again. Colin. I guess it's Colin Powell. No, there is Colin. Is that what he's thinking? Colin Powell? Is he thinking Colin Powell? Like, is this guy just a huge Colin Powell fan? Is that what we're dealing with here? Because you're right. Was Colin Powell spelled just like Colin? Because that's wild. Did he? That explains it. That explains it. Okay. All right. Next up. Amy sends $150. Woo! Thank you, Amy. And says, keep speaking truth to power. Fuck every last one of those assholes. You're over the target, and that's why they are making you a target. We love you, doctor. Well, geez. Thank you very much, Amy. That's very generous. Thank you. Next up, Jeff Strains sends $50 and says, hey, Zeus, this broad Canoni is unapologetic to this point. Can we agree a Ben H trial wouldn't be good? A bench trial wouldn't be good at this point. I am the unpopular opinion that I think she would acquit Karen Reed. I do. I think she would vote. I think she would acquit her because, amongst lots of things, Auntie Bev, she's cunty. She's a lot of things, but more than anything, she's just gutless. She's just gutless. She's not going to make any, she's not bold at all. And convicting Karen Reed would be bold. I think it would be a very bold thing to do because it's just so out. Come on, guilty? Are you kidding? You think you got to play a fucking card? That's a bold thing. So I think she doesn't like Karen Reed. She likes giving Karen Reed a hard time. And, but I do not think we'll never find out because they're never going to do a bench trial, but I do think that she would acquit Karen Reed. I'm just saying she would make her go through the ringer and all that stuff. But I think she would she knew she couldn't keep, dude. Like, look at the huge fuss they made over Alan Jackson. And oh my God, I have grave concerns. Remember that? Whatever came of that? Nothing. What happened with Alan Jackson? Nothing. Remember, I was like, oh my God, he's going to lose his 𝗺𝗄𝗆. I'm like, no, she's gutless. She's not going to lose it. He's not going to take away. That would be a bold thing to do. She's not a bold person. She's not taking away Alan Jackson's 𝗺𝗄𝗆. That's too bold of her. Like, when they wanted to put a gag order on the defense, I'm like, she ain't going to do that. That's too bold. Auntie Bev is gutless. She goes along with everything. Why do you think this whole prosecution is still going on? It's because she's gutless. Because dropping murder charges after an indictment happens is in and of itself bold, right? That's a bold thing to do. It's not every day murder charges get dropped. And like, she'd kind of be saying, yeah, like, they got a lot of good points here. I'm going to drop these murder charges. No, she's too much of a coward. She's too gutless to do something like that. And so I think ultimately at the end of the day, she just is just like being a pussy and just whatever. Yeah. Jim Crosby. It's like she let Jim Crosby in because she's not bold. That's just how I feel. But do I think they'll do a third trial? Okay. So outcomes. Let's do another poll right now. I want to see what you guys think. So it's 80% men. That's cool. Okay. I mean, 80% women. That was actually higher than I thought. All right. Nope. All right. So this is kind of a general question that I put up there. I realize there's 3 charges, but I want to know, how do you guys think, honestly, not like what do you think should happen, but how do you think it will end the second trial? Conviction, acquittal, or hung jury? I just want to see what you guys think, how we vote in this poll. This is why I love live shows, by the way. I think this is just such a better format, is just you get to interact with your audience and like, what do you motherfuckers think? Let's do a poll. You know, what do you guys think? Let's see what your turtle chats say. So we have over 1,000 votes so far. 55% of you say acquittal, 40% say hung jury, and 5% say conviction. That's kind of what I thought this poll would look like. You know, I don't know who these motherfuckers saying conviction are, but you know, obviously last trial I went into it thinking like, oh yeah, this is going to be easiest acquittal ever. And it should be, but I forgot after the Ronnie the Juror interview and I heard what these ding dongs were saying in that room, you know, it's, you know, obviously I'm torn between hung jury and acquittal. Definitely not conviction. She'll never be convicted. But man, hung jury, imagine that. What then? What then? Like, Kirk Minahan said that, like, he's like, I definitely think it's going to be a hung jury. And obviously I'm rooting for an acquittal. I want an acquittal, but there's just something about this case, man, that just makes people stupid. It just makes some people stupid. All on the other side, of course. But it just, like, bro, what? I thought this is the most common sense thing ever, that Karen Reed's innocent. The most common sense thing ever. But, like, people get so, like, no, she's guilty. And then they fucking go down this hole and they just make fucking fools of themselves. And they say some of the dumbest shit ever just because they're stuck in this position. And they're like, well, I already said she's guilty, so now I got to go along with all this shit. So fuck it. Like, I guess I got to buy in all this. What? Okay. The butt dials, you got to buy into everything. Everything's normal. Everything. Proctor, piece of shit, but good investigator. Like, what? And some people buy that, you know? Because at the end, listen to what Juror Ronnie said. And it's like, this is, and I, until I heard 𝗵𝗵𝗏𝗺𝗺 say it like a week ago on Melanie Little show, when I heard 𝗵𝗵𝗏𝗺𝗺 say it, I'm like, oh, wow, we might have a hung jury again. Because there are people saying shit like that, you know, that like, that, what did Vinny say? That, well, she was drinking. He was found there. His taillight. There was the car data says she was going in reverse. And they're like, well, you know. And Vinny's a guy who's been criticizing everything. And then he said that. I'm like, and Ronnie's a smart person. And he wavered. And, you know, like some of these other people, they're smart and they're saying this shit. It's just like, yeah, and they've prejudiced her. It's just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. So I think you'll never, ever convict her, ever. But I just can't. I can easily see a hung jury. And then I guess the question is, what then? What then? Will they do it again? And I think the odds of yes in that sake would be much higher than the odds of no. I don't know what the odds exactly would be, but it would be such a bad look. But then again, they don't care about looks, do they? But that would be a real bad look. You couldn't convict her twice. You got all this horrible media. I mean, they're going to bring Hank Brennan back again. What are they going to do? That's a horrible look. There's a whole documentary based on this concept. It's called Trial 4. Sean Ellis, he got convicted on the third try. Well, a lot of people have one hung jury. That happens. The Menendez brothers had that. Katie Magdalena had that. A lot of people have had one hung jury, but not a lot of people have had two. Not a lot of people, but you're right. They don't care about it. They don't care about optics. You know, they don't care. Oh, wait, hold on. Inside Edition wants to do a, hold on. Hey, sorry. Right now, noon works. Inside Edition wants to talk to me tomorrow. Okay. All right, cool. Anyway, yeah, it's just so stupid. I mean, taxpayers should be outraged, all the shit, but they're not. They're not, you know. All right, cool. Next up. Colin Sucks sends $10. Goes, I love the 34 Fairview background, but you should change it to D&E Pizza. I don't need to poke the bear. I'm banned from there. I can't go anywhere near the place. So no, thank you. Elizabeth sends $50 and goes, we all need to file complaints with the Massachusetts Commission of Judicial Conduct to get Bev off this case. It probably won't do anything. No, it definitely won't do anything. But if we flood them with messages being very specific about our instance of bias, maybe they will pay more attention to what is going on. Oh, free Karen Reed, this person says. Thank you, Elizabeth. And I appreciate your enthusiasm, but you're new to the hackorama, as 𝗺𝗵𝗂𝗺 calls it. This is the hackorama, Massachusetts. Like, if you write, if 1,000 people write letters to them saying, you guys need to do something about this, this judge is out of control, you know what that's going to make them want to do, right? It's going to make them want to rally around her. They're going to be like, oh, all these people are picking on this lovely public servant, and this Turtleboy guy is getting them really fired up about something. What's he talking? You know, he must be talking about semen, doxing, and children again. And now look what they're doing to Auntie Bev. Semen, doxing, children. Oh my. But like in this state, you get rewarded for being part of the hackorama. So I don't think that would work, but I appreciate the sentiment. Nicole sends $10 and says, wait, no, I think I read the one already. I already read the one. I don't want to miss anyone's here. Glenda sends $10, goes, Bev and Hank need a wedgie up to their ears. Thanks. I appreciate that, Glenda. True that. Lena sends $5, goes, watching from the UK. God bless you, doctor. Don't stop laughing watching you. I don't stop laughing watching you. I appreciate that. Thank you for always keeping me entertained. P.S. Jill Daniels should keep her crusty hands to herself, and Jen McCabe's a cunt. Pass it on. No argument there. Leslie sends $10, goes, you are loved. Well, thank you very much, Leslie. Britt K sends $10, goes, for our fearless beggar, you crushed it this week. Thank you for defending our First Amendment. It is our First Amendment, Britt. That's a great point. I like the way you phrase that. Appreciate that. Bob sends $10 and goes, Aidan, I sincerely think that with your brilliant humor, genius at wordplay nicknames, you are today's Mark Twain. Ooh, nice. Thanks for all you do. The serious journalism, the belly laughs, and everything in between, Bob. You know, one of the things I appreciated about Judge Doolin, right, is that he called me a satirist, right? He called me a journalist, but also a satirist. And it's like, exactly. I hate being boxed into the journalist box because I am an award-winning journalist. And, you know, I've written a lot of major breaking stories and that no one else has published. And I've won a bunch of awards for it. And where's your awards, Turtleboy? They're on my wall. Okay. Won them all. So I have done that, but a man can wear different hats. You know, Deion Sanders played baseball and football, didn't he? So did Bo Jackson. Nobody's like, well, you can only play baseball, right? No, Bo knows football too. Bo knows everything. And I'm kind of the same way. Like, I'm not just a journalist. I'm also a funny motherfucker. Like, you know, like I'm a satirist. That's what I do. I crack jokes. I was the class clown in high school, believe it or not. I know it's hard to believe, but I'm into grab ass. You know, sometimes I mime. I just do shit. I riff. I raff. I go. And so it's like, and I'm so glad he said that, because it's like, that changes everything. Because Krupp would always bring up during his thing, Mr. Bradle, would a journalist ever say, quote, yo, Colin, it's Turtleboy from them Advantage Boys. Bang, bang. We gonna fuck you dogs up. Do you think that's something a journalist would say? It's like, no, I don't think a journalist, I can't imagine anyone from NPR saying that. I can't picture it. I can't imagine Sue O'Connell ever saying that. Although Sue O'Connell says she's not a journalist, so that's a bad example. But like, I can't imagine whoever, you know, some guy that won the Pulitzer Prize saying something like that. I totally get that. It's like, but I'm this hybrid thing that has never existed before. You know, like I do major breaking stories, but I also entertain. I'm a rapper too. You know, I do some rapping, and I crack jokes about people, and I give people nicknames, and I do impressions. I do a lot of impressions. I do a mean Spanky Brennan impression. That's what they say. So I don't know. I just feel like it's a man could wear different hats. You know what I mean? Like a man could wear different hats. So I thought that was, and that's what Nan was saying about my show. They're like, no, it's your show. Like, you just got to do a show, you know, it's got to be you. And so I appreciate, like, the fact that he started off by saying that. It's like, oh, he gets me. He gets me. He's seen some of my clips. He understands, like, obviously this guy's not a traditional journalist, but he does this weird hybrid thing. It's like shock jock. Like, it's like a little bit Howard Stern, a little bit Rogan, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you know, a little bit of Cronkite, everything just thrown into one. A little bit of Jon Stewart. It's kind of like the Daily Show, except, you know, he kind of went off the deep end recently, but you know, anyway. All right, next up. Sandra sends $100. Woo! Thanks, Sandy. And says, DUI guy said it best when he saw how Hank lies in front of the world. He is a dangerous opponent. He is a snake. But I know you and Karen will be fine. He is. He is dangerous. He's a pussy, but he's dishonest. You know, he's a mob lawyer. That's what they needed. They needed somebody like him to be just dishonest and a hack. I think it's ineffective. Like, he's doing this thing again. He filed this motion for my phones again. Do you guys see that today? I'm not even getting into that. It's just, that's been done, dude. They already, get out of here. Like, this whole thing. Oh, he conspired with Karen Reed to intimidate witnesses. Bro, there was a grand jury for that shit. No bill. And yeah, so we'll see. Now, just pointed, they are going to try on March 18th to revoke my bail. I'm pretty sure they're going to try to do that. So just be prepared. There's like a 1% chance that I might be going back to jail for 60 days. I really fucking hope not. That would really suck. But it's up to the judge, obviously, whatever judge we get down in Stoughton. But just point of order, they are going to try to do that. So hopefully that doesn't happen, right? That would suck. But because that's a Tuesday, I have my show that night, you know. But anyway, he called Chris Albert the pizza man. I know, but it's not going to happen, guys. I mean, I have really good lawyers, and I'm not dangerous. You have to be dangerous you have to be an actual threat to have your bail revoked. And I just can't. It just shows what a piece of shit Cosgrove is if he's actually trying to do that, you know. But I mean, who does that? It's like, bro, who's gonna get the kids off the bus? Like, my mom helped a lot last time I was in jail. She's obviously not here. It's like, you don't think about shit like that. You just don't care about who this affects. You're just like, this is just a fun and game. We'll just throw them in jail for the fucking fun of it, you know. But anyway, so yeah, and that's what I'm dealing with. Like, mentally, it's like, imagine dealing with that shit all the time. It's like we're dealing with jail again. Ugh. Oh, that's the only thing that sucked about this new charge. It's like they're just going to use this as an excuse to try to revoke my bail. You know, it's just like over a fucking miming. Are you kidding me? Anyway, back to this. Melissa sends $20, goes, things are getting expensive, but you will prevail, Aidan. I'm old school turtle rider from the beginning. Keep fighting the good fight for the First Amendment and free Karen Reed. Thank you very much, Melissa. Old school turtle riders. Love to see it. Love it. Romy sends $100 and goes, Colin was in the house. He's going to regret that one. Thank you. Cassie sends $10, goes, Dr. Daddy, what were you thinking? You were skating. Stay out of the lion's den for fuck's sake. See what I'm saying? You'll have your time. Make it after you have that town by the balls. Worried about you. Be careful. Kind of a daddy move, though. Ain't gonna lie. Well, you know, I get it. I get it. But I didn't mean for that to happen. You know, I didn't mean for that to happen, but I think it's bullshit. Anyway, next up. Dougie Fresh sends $11 and says, okay, it's one of these long things. I cannot. Oh, wait, it's one of these good ones. Bev's gavel is just a dildo you ram up Lady Justice skirt while jerking off to her own reflection. She peddles rulings like a syphilitic whore, hawking her clap-ridden snatch outside the courthouse, drooling for every dirty dollar shoved up her bloated, corrupt arse. Her black robes are a crusty, cum-stained shroud, hiding the sniveling, power-hungry cockroach she truly is. Her bench is a throne of lies, and her rulings are the runny, stinky diarrhea she smears across the law with every bought and paid for word. She is a spineless, ass-licking parasite, so vile even the maggots gag at her stench. She is a soulless, shit-eating leech. Choke on your own hypocrisy, you festering, pox-marked disgrace. Your legacy's a skid mark on humanity's underwear, and your heart's a blackened lump of coal Satan himself wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pitchfork. Burn in the hell you've earned, you miserable, twatless travesty of a judge. Turtleboy, I still want that 9-hour cup of coffee. You and McDonough. Give me McDonough. You know, normally I don't read messages that long, but I do love Dougie Fresh Hogan's messages. So that is not, this is a turtle chat. Disclaimer. That is a turtle chat I read. That is not my thoughts. You put it in the machine. You know, it's like I usually, when I see a long thing like that, I'm like, oh, it's one of these ones again. Okay, I'll read that one. But only he can send those. Don't everyone else do that. Danielle sends $5, goes, my favorite part about the last 2 days has been hearing all about Chris Albert's son, Colin. Thomas Autonomous sends $10, goes, bad news, Spanky will drag you in to testify. Good news, you will be allowed as expert Dr. Turtleboy. Best news, 𝗲𝗏𝗍 will be on Crosby like a mad dog in a meat house, and Hank will be like a chicken with his head cut off. You know, I mean, but yeah, I mean, the whole Crosby thing is just a defense. Like they're on the defense, which isn't good. I mean, he's really going to bring a fucking mold in and be like, see, it's not Chloe. And they're not going to produce. I mean, go ahead. The fuckarama, this guy wants to fuck. We can fuck. Let's do it, you know, but I don't think it's going to work out the way he thinks. Let me read some cash apps, then we'll watch some content. If I didn't get to you, I'll still get to your chats. I promise. I'm not going to forget you. Heather sends $10 and goes, pussy and colon is now part of the record. And Tom CPU. Thank you very much, Heather. Holly sends $10 and goes, BFF is a Pulitzer winner and fuck is her favorite word. I don't know who BFF is, but thank you. Neil sends $20, has no comment. Neil, boots on the ground. Neil Keller. Thank you, Neil. Megan sends $25 and goes, free Karen Reed and the Dr. AK. I appreciate that, Megan. Thank you very much. Leslie sends $5 and goes, what exactly are the 3 charges? And did first find guilty? Murder, manslaughter, and leaving the scene of an accident. I don't understand the second part of that question. Thank you, Leslie. Callie sends $10, goes, where's Aaron and is Proctor the Fall Guy? Aaron has not been seen. since the article. Maybe I need to share that article before every court date, just to remind people of Mr. Glazed Donut there, in case anyone's feeling bad for him. Thank you, Callie. Jeff sends $25 and has no comment. Thank you, Jeff. Chad sends $5 and goes, AJ was awesome yesterday. Yes, he was. What else is new? Thank you. Leslie sends $5 and goes, it should be illegal to waste our tax dollars on this. Yes, it should, Leslie. Angela sends $20 and goes, show Ronnie a picture of Fanning, see if he recognizes him. I've asked him about Fanning. He has never seen Fanning before. And we're going to get to that. Deanne sends $25 and goes, for my contribution. Well, thank you, Deanne. Next up, Callie sends $10 and goes, keep up Chinese water torture. I know he called it Chinese water torture. He called, like, what I do, Chinese water torture. Madness. Jennifer sends $5 and goes, Tully's dick is so rock hard for you. It hurts. I know. He's obsessed. Just not adding to you, pal. Courtney sends $5 and goes, window pick is now my lock screen. Free Turtleboy. Window pick. What's window pick? I'll take your word for it. Thank you, Courtney. Melanie sends $6 and says, will you have a different judge on April 30th? We might. I'm not entirely sure. But the motion to dismiss, I mean, maybe there will be no 30th court date, you know? Although we still have the fake victim charges, so we got to deal with that still. Dawn sends $10, goes, they're just trying to silence you. So sorry. Hashtag free Turtleboy. Yes, they are. Thank you very much. Holly sends $10 and goes, good name for that piece of shit. Ha. Yeah, thank you, Holly. Christina sends $5 and goes, are you selling the shirt you're wearing online? This lasted in the Turtleboy store for all of like 2 days before it was removed. I don't know why. So thank you very much. JJ sends $5 and says, if they get your phone, can the defense call you as a witness? I don't know how that works, JJ. If they get my phone, they're gonna get my phone. I think she's gonna grant that one. But it's a weird thing because we're still dealing with taint team issues on my phones. So I don't even know how that works and what they'll be able to look through. Because I've got my whole phone. Hey, I went through my whole phone, right? The only thing they're interested in is like evidence of planning witness intimidation between me and the dastardly Karen Reed and me and Alan Jackson and David Yannetti, and nothing. I went through the whole phone. Nothing like that exists. They're going to be very disappointed when they get my phone and they go through it. They're going to see a whole lot of Intimidator, like tons of it, like way too much. They are going to have nightmares about this shit. But, you know, I wish I deleted some of those like that. If I knew that my phone was going to be taken the next day, I'd be like, look, I'll keep everything else. Can I get rid of the nudes? Because I don't want Michael Proctor seeing all this shit. But, you know, he'd be a little jealous, but, you know, I don't need him seeing all this stuff. So it's just, they're going to see a lot of that. Like if Spanky can get it too. If Spanky wants to see that, he can see it. He's going to feel very insecure, I think, after seeing that. You know, he's gonna be like, fuck, they were right. They were right about him. You know, so that's where he gets it from. You know, that's what they're going to say. It's going to be bad. So, but he's not going to find much witness intimidation, but he's going to see a whole lot of Intimidator. And again, because I went through the phone extraction because I'm like, all right, let's see what they're going to find. Let's see what they're going to read, you know, and I'm like reading it all. I'm like, there's nothing in here except whoa. Because they're going to read the conversations too. And a lot of these conversations have them. Here you go. What do you think of that? Oh, excellent. Oh, yeah, I like that. It's like, it's going to be a whole lot of that. And, you know, but anyway, back to this. So thank you, JJ. Robin sent $10 earlier and said, 𝗼𝗄𝐶𝗶 increasing my vocabulary, one hearing at a time. Well, thank you very much. Okay. And Amanda sends $10, goes, I hope D&E has Colin on the payroll. Is he? I had no idea he actually worked there. That was news to me. Holly sends $10 and says BFF is best friend forever. Oh, I know that. Holly. Thank you. But you said they won a Pulitzer, so I wasn't sure what that meant. EMC sends $5 and goes, how is Tully still involved? Good question. Don't know the answer to that. Leslie sends $5 and goes, what did the first jury find her guilty of? Nothing. They found her guilty of nothing. She would have been convicted if she was found guilty. So there's that. Okay, cool. Again, I've got more turtle chats we're going to get to, but we got to start playing some shit, man. We got to start playing some content here. So let's jump. We're going to start with my hearing and then some Karen Reed stuff. Because again, a lot of shit to do. So let's get this party started. Let's jump in with mine. All right. If anyone else wants to donate, by the way, link is at the top for Turtle Chat, or you can cash at me at $ Uncle Turtleboy. Okay. All right. Let's play this. Oh, there it is. I add the green suit on, obviously. There's the dream team. The dream team, if you will. And a lot of Turtle Riders in court. Love to see it. Full house. We haven't been in this courtroom yet. It was new. Nice to see it. Which way is the way that I like it? Where it got rid of my favorite one. Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. I mean, the green suit plays. My stylist, I think, did an excellent job. It's tough to find something that goes with the green suit. It is. But I think she pulled it off nicely. I think she did. All right, let's play.
Robert Cosgrove for the Commonwealth. I guess it's a late morning. I should have said good afternoon.
Hello, Your Honor. Timothy Brado on behalf of Aidan Kearney. He's here in my and Mark Federal, Mr. Kearney.
Good to see you. Okay, so I got the motion and I got the response. Why don't I do this? I've got some questions that I'll throw out at the beginning. Maybe both sides can answer. I'm going to start with the defense and then I'll go to Mr. Cosgrove. So, Mr. Kearney is certainly a journalist. He's a satirist. Mr. Brado, where's the line? How far can he go satirize things?
I love that opening question. He's obviously a journalist and he's a satirist. How far can he go with the satire?
When does it become a crime? I asked that to Mr. Cosgrove as well to address. How does the conspiracy count with the 14, 15, and 16? How do they fit into this? How is that intimidation? Are there people that are mentioned in these indictments who are non-witnesses, specifically as to counts 5 and 15? Tell me, Mr. Brado, what do you think?
Those are all positive questions. 5 and 15 are Elizabeth Proctor. So they're like, the fact that he's asking is like, well, she's not even a witness in this. So what are we doing here? I thought that was a very good sign. I'm like, oh, I like that. I like where that's going. I like the fact that he's asking about the conspiracy charges because that's complete bullshit. Conspiracy. And he's like, well, he's a satirist. So, and that's the ultimate question, right? That needs to be answered is, where is the line? Like there has to be some line. You can't just go around saying you're going to kill people and shit like that. And that line does exist. And I love that question because I know the answer to that question. And I immediately wrote it down and passed the note to Bettero. And he nodded like he's like the teacher. He's like, yes, student, you've learned. And, it's the answer to that question is true threats and fighting words. O'Brien versus Borowski. That is the standard in Massachusetts for speech that is not protected. True threats and fighting words. If you threaten to kill someone, right, and it's a legitimate, non-political hyperbole, then that would be considered fighting words and true threats, right? True threats means that it has to be a true threat. Like if somebody in, Seattle, Washington or something like that is like, yo, some loser in his basement is like, yo, I'm gonna kill all you motherfuckers. That's not a true threat because he can't do it. He's over there and he's got no means and no guns and no car. He's not gonna do it. So that's the answer to that one. And I like that because I'm like, there is a line. Has he crossed that line? And the answer to that is unequivocally no. Good luck making your case that a line has been crossed. Go.
The motorcade, how does that fit into this?
The motorcade.
Intimidation. Mr. Cosgrove, you can obviously speak to that, but Mr. Brado,
thank you, Your Honor. As usual, Judge, you cut right to the point. I appreciate that. We have about 75 pages between counsel and I. And I'm happy to answer those questions. The first, where do you draw the line thing, Judge?
I love my mugshot, Eric.
He's got his blog, he's got the website. I'm sure he gets a lot of activity.
Yeah.
And he's covering a case. So he's acting as a journalist. But how far can you go?
Sure.
You know, and I said this to Mr. Criswell maybe as well. How about Michael Moore or somebody like that, somebody who's a satirist in some way? I was trying to bring attention to a certain thing. How far does the First Amendment go?
Is Michael Moore a satirist? Isn't he a documentarian? Like a left-wing documentarian? But I get it. I mean, Michael Moore has done provocative things. He's like gone up to members of Congress and asked them provocative questions about like, why'd you vote for this war? You know, would you send your son to fight in the war? You know, stuff like that. Mike Judge, bro, not Moore. What? Mike, did you say I thought you said Michael Moore. Didn't he say Michael Moore? I could have sworn he said. He used satire on Fahrenheit 9/11. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think he's done some controversial things. He's not really my cup of tea, Michael Moore, but I get it. And so like the fact that he starts off with that, it's just like, I think he gets it that like, look at like, not everybody's Walter Cronkite. Some people do things differently. He's allowed to do it, right? You know?
Sure. Thank you very much, Aaron. Judge, it is actually a clear line. It's O'Brien v. 𝗺𝗺. Okay,
Brian
Judge, I
versus
know you're
𝗺𝗺.
all over this. O'Brien says that all of these strictures that talk about speech and distress and everything else, it's limited to true threats and fighting words. O'Brien says that. Watts in the Supreme Court says that. This is just well-settled law. It's unquestionable.
The Watts case, the Watts in the Supreme Court one, that's when a guy said that if you give me a gun and a rifle right now, the first thing I'll do is I'll find Lyndon Johnson. He's like an anti-war protester person. And they said that speech was covered by that, you know, saying that you were going to pick, if you had a gun, you'd kill the president. It's like the fucking president, you know? But they said that that was not against the law because it wasn't true threats. Like he's not actually going to kill the president. He doesn't have the means to do that. So that's political hyperbole, they called it. He's being, you know, we got to be very careful about the kind of speech that we outlaw. Like, you know, and because you're making it illegal. You're making it a crime to say words. And that shouldn't be a fucking crime to say that. Like he's not actually going to kill him. He didn't mean it, you know?
So it has to be true threats or fighting words when the issue is speech. And that's what we have here. We contend is this is just Mr. Kearney's speech.
How about if he says what's the effect on that ruin life? Is that enough?
No, it's not enough because it's not.
And again, I love this question. The fact, like Doolin knew the answer to that. He goes, what about if he says, I'm going to ruin your life? Doolin knows the answer to that. He's like the teacher asking the student, seeing what the student knows here. He's like, he knows that like, you're allowed to say you're going to ruin someone's life, right? Ruining someone's life and killing them are very different things. And what does ruin your life even mean? Like, you know, like no one's life in this has been ruined. So, some people's reputations have been damaged or smeared, or whatever, but nobody's been ruined as a result of this. Like, whatever, like you're not in jail. So you, and that's what I said. I think what he's getting at here is like, I made one comment about how when Jill Daniels, when I thought she had a crush on me, I made a comment about like how I'm like, it's kind of weird that she has a crush on me because I'm kind of like trying to ruin her nephew's life by like putting him in jail. And it's like, yeah, putting you in jail would definitely ruin your life. I don't have the ability to put Colin Albert in jail, but you know, I was leading a campaign that I believe should investigate Colin because I 1000% believe he was complicit in this one. That you will never convince me otherwise. We will never be able to prove that, of course, but that's just my opinion, right? And I think he's a punk. I think he's gotten away with everything his whole life. Like those are my opinions. So, and I've got a pretty big megaphone. So if other people also believe that, then yeah, I mean, I suppose your reputation would be damaged, but that's political hyperbole. Like his life's not actually ruined. It wouldn't be ruined unless he went to jail, which he didn't do, which he didn't go to jail. So whatever, you know? So the answer to that, like these are softball questions that he's like, Oh, actually, you are allowed to say that's actually not against any laws.
A specific threat in terms of any criminal behavior, and that actually is specifically addressed in O'Brien, and it's Snyder v. Phelps, Judge Snyder v. Phelps. That's the Westboro Baptist Church case where they picketed a dead soldier's funeral. I mean, the most repugnant stuff you can imagine, but it's inflicting emotional distress in public on a matter of public concern is protected. So, and O'Brien specifically talks about that the fear needs to be defined. It's fear of property damage or being a victim of a crime. It's not fear of being sued. It's not fear of being embarrassed. It's not Ms. McCabe in Stoughton District Court saying, is there any way you can get him to stop lying about me, Judge? That's not the fear we're talking about.
How about found phony pizza rides at a pizza restaurant?
You know, I'm glad you brought that up too.
I'm glad you brought that up too.
Whatsoever. And he did do that. Mr. Kearney did not tell people to do anything with respect to that, but more to the point of our motion.
That was completely made up. And I think that's why he asked that. That was the only allegation that they made in the charging documents that didn't include a citation to a video. Like every other video, they're like, he said that at this mark of this video. Whereas with that one, it's like, he never said that. He never, ever, ever encouraged anyone to order pizzas and not pick them up. Chris Albert claims that happened without any evidence. We're just supposed to take his word for it. And quite frankly, he's also like, like after a while, wouldn't you be like, oh, somebody ordered 50 pizzas again. Maybe we should make sure this is legitimate before we start making all these pizzas. I don't know. So that never happened. And he must have known that never happened. You know what I mean? Like he must have known that. So did I block this? I'm going to end the poll because I think it's blocking the turtle chat. 58% say acquittal. 34% say hung jury. Okay. All right, back to this.
You say there's no evidence of that. I don't want to sound sneaky when I when I say there's no evidence of that. He didn't do it. A, and B, there's no evidence of it, and that's what we're here for. So look at the evidence in the grand jury. There's no evidence whatsoever for anybody to inflict economic harm on the guy. Even if he did, which he didn't, how is that a crime? It might be something you could be civilly sued for, but it's not a crime. But the most important point on that, Judge, is that he didn't do it, and there's no evidence of it. That points up something that we want to address as well, Your Honor, is the idea that there's so much imputed derivative liability infecting these grand jury minutes. It's ridiculous. It's as if the Commonwealth just basically forgot about the notion of joint venture and just wanted to attribute every bad thing that has happened to any one of these complainants to Mr. Kearney. I'll give you a ton of examples. Proctor says people drove by and spit on my lawn or whatever.
Never happened.
That's got nothing to do with Mr. Kearney. They have no evidence. He said, hey, let's get into joint venture here for you to drive by and spit on his lawn. Got nothing to do with Mr. Kearney. Another example that should throw out the entire case is McCabe. Jennifer McCabe says, I got an email that someone was going to rape me on my front lawn. That has nothing to do with Mr. Kearney. The fact that there are other people, many of whom are in this room supporting the First Amendment and supporting Mr. Kearney, that are concerned about this and that speak out, Mr. Kearney is not responsible if they cross some line. It's not his cross to bear, Your Honor. If the government wants to make a joint venture case, let them try, but they certainly haven't here. And that's the most important point, is that all of these derivative liability things, you got to throw those out the window, Your Honor. You can't use them as a basis to uphold an indictment, but also there's no evidence of it. There's no evidence that he did anything wrong. So all those derivative liability things, Judge, I hope that, I know you've looked at everything. When you look at it again, it can't apply to Mr. Kearney. It's just not within the law. It's not even, Zanetti, defense lawyers talk about Zanetti.
So many of the indictments involve in the grand jury testimony involves like people like Jennifer McCabe saying and Michael Moore saying, oh, his minions are doing this, and people maybe he's not doing it, but he knows what he's doing. It's a dog whistle. He's putting it out there, and all these people are reacting, and then they do his work for him. And it's like, but you haven't alleged joint venture. You haven't alleged that like multiple. That's not what you're alleging. You're alleging I'm saying things, and then other people are doing bad things, and I'm the only one that gets in trouble for it. Like I've never told anyone to do anything, and that matters. That's not gonna. That's what these antis have to realize. Like, bro, your case is weak. Like you've gotten this far. You got me arrested. That's you are not going to convict me. It is. I will not be convicted for this. I guarantee you, they will not be convicted for this. You can clip that shit till the cows come home. This story does not end with me being convicted of witness intimidation. I hate to be the spoiler for you. It's not going to happen. It's a weak case. If that's the best that you have, is that Turtleboy said things and then other people did bad things to me. That's a weak case. That's not going to get you anywhere.
All the time about how broad it's become. It doesn't even come in the galaxy of Zanetti. There's no evidence that Mr. Kearney urged anybody to call the pizza man and, you know, order things to not show up. There's no evidence about the Proctor thing. He's got nothing to do with the Jennifer McCabe emails. All these things, Judge, are the government's attempt to just throw enough mud at him so that a judge who's swamped with these things says, there's all these allegations. I know you're not going to do that. And that's why we're here in front of you, is because we have every bit of.
I love them buttering up the. I know you're not going to do that. I know you're a wise guy. You know, you're a smart guy. I love that. I love it.
Faith that you're going to look at this in the way that it needs to be looked at, and that you're going to look at it on the right side of the First Amendment, Your Honor. The derivative liability stuff's got to be out the window. Okay. Can you refresh my memory on your next question, Your Honor?
I think I asked a couple of questions, one of which was, where is the line, the conspiracy, which I think you talked about.
Yes.
And then the motorcade, which you talked about as well. How about the one of the people who, in counts 5 and 15, who are at least, it's the same person, but are, it's intimidation of a witness. Is that person a witness?
I just don't have it in front of me, Judge. In terms of 5 and 15 is the allegation. Elizabeth Parker. Yes, she's not a witness, but the breadth of the witness intimidation statute, Judge, does cover family members of a witness. Okay. So I'm not taking issue with that. But it just goes through every single one of these. It doesn't rise to the level of threats or fighting words, Your Honor. Okay. It's just, you know, and the other huge issue that the Commonwealth ignores and just wants to look the other way and go after somebody out of their own self-interest, and we'll get to that later, but is this notion that political hyperbole is somehow off the table. So I'm going to rewind a little bit, and that's the Watts case. It goes back to 1969, Your Honor, when a guy who was speaking about the draft, and he said that if they put a rifle in my hands, the first person I'm going to get in my sights is the president, LBJ.
That's what I was telling you about.
And he was prosecuted under the federal threat statute. And the Supreme Court, you know, they laid it out very clearly. This is called political hyperbole. The context, the distance, the First Amendment aspects of it, it's political hyperbole. It's not really going to happen. It's something that a First Amendment protected speaker says to underline their point, to underscore the force, the rhetorical force of what they're saying. So that principle, Your Honor, is sort of the foundation for a lot of the case law that I cite in the brief, and that, you know, it's.
So where's the effect of I'm going to destroy someone's life, or I'm not going to let them lead a comfortable life.
Right.
So that's what your argument is. That
exactly.
Even under that case law, which is obviously
control.
Yeah.
Controlling. I think the word you're looking for.
You know,
maybe it's the Supreme Court. And that's another issue we want to talk about, judges. You know, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts just forges ahead with this ridiculous statute, this witness intimidation statute. If that statute was passed in 1775, every single one of those legislators would have been pulled out of the State House and tarred and feathered on Boston Common. That statute is ridiculous.
Did you see my face there? When he said that, I'm like, whoa, spicy brittle today. I'm like, tarred and feathered. Because the legislators would have been tarred and feathered if they passed a law like that in 1775. And you know what? He's not wrong. Like they would be like, motherfucker, we did not start this whole fucking country here, this free country, to be like, well, yeah, it's a free country unless you criticize the governor, you know, unless you don't like, he passes a tax you don't like, and then you make a meme about him, and then you start a live show and you make fun of him. They'd be like, motherfucker, get the tar and feathers out. This motherfucker wants to get brazen. You want to get brazen with me, boy? What you talk about? Tar and feather this motherfucker right now. I mean, that's true. It is accurate. That is historically true. But, you know, we're not in 1775. So, and like, I don't know if I'm like, you know, like, I don't want to make it, because, you know, the McAlberts are going to take that. Like, what? They're going to tar and feather us next, you know? But I love it. The judge seemed to agree with it. Look at the face I made. Watch this. Watch this.
Forges ahead.
Watch
this ridiculous statute, this witness intimidation statute. If that statute was passed in 1775, every single one of those legislators would have been pulled out of the State House and tarred and feathered on Boston Common. That statute is ridiculous, Your Honor. It talks about inflicting economic harm, inflicting emotional harm. I think someone's going to receive emotional harm if they hear a speech that says, "You're a liar. I'm going to sue you." Under the statute, that's a felony. In Massachusetts, not in the rest of the world, not in the rest of the country anyway, not under the Federal Bill of Rights and the First Amendment, but apparently in Massachusetts and in Norfolk County, it is.
Okay, let me turn to Mr. 𝗵𝗲𝗺. I think you've answered that question.
Thank you.
Let me turn to Mr. 𝗵𝗲𝗺. Mr. 𝗵𝗲𝗺,
So those are all like, to me, those are all softball questions that we were ready to. Bradel knows this case inside and out by now. He's so much different than he was like back in November. He didn't know about the Colin Albert speech back then. He knows it like the back of his hand now. Like, he just spit the shit out, you know, and those were just, he was ready to tee those ones up, wasn't he? He knew the case law for everything, and he's like, let's go. And so to me, those questions from the judge were good. I mean, it was like, you can learn a lot by just the questions that they ask. And I thought that was a good sign. Now it's Cosgrove's turn. He's got no fight.
Some of these counts, I mean, there's obviously a lot of counts. There's 16 of them. But going to count 8, which involved a member of the state police, where he's walking out of the courthouse here and allegedly the defendant directs the attention of certain people towards him. And then they chant and they call him names. Does that rise to the level of intimidation of a witness?
I love that one. I love how he's just like, that's how I know. I think that's why I have confidence that this is going to go our way. Because he's like, that's the first one. He's like, bro, does that rise to the level of intimidation of a witness? You gotta really, dude. They called him names. He's a cop. And let's see what he says here. Even Cosgrove has to be like, well, that's kind of a weak one.
I think that's probably the one closest to the line, Your Honor, candidly. But,
yeah, we probably shouldn't have
prosecuted. And if you view the video, you'll see that he's pursued down the street. He's shouted. He's approached by people accompanying Mr. Kearney.
Oh no!
With cards that they're waving and so forth.
Oh,
and,
no, not cards that they're waving. Oh dear God, they were waving cards. People were walking near him and waving cards, not with a cop. Oh dear God. Oh dear. You know, he doesn't believe in any of this shit. You know, Cosgrove is just like, he just sold his soul to take this fucking loser case. And just like, what? Okay.
I certainly think he could have legitimately feared for his safety.
He could have.
The fact that he's a rather robust gentleman and that there are other police officers around might mitigate that fear, but I don't think it was totally unfounded.
I don't think that's the best defense he can come up with. Well, you know, I don't think it's totally unfounded. Like, listen, like, there's Bradle's passion for this shit. And just like undeniably, this is not witness intimidation and case law, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, like he's pretty strong and he's got a lot of cops around him. But like, you know, he could be intimidated. I don't think it's like totally unfounded. Like it could be intimidation. Like that's the best that he could offer up. Like, does that sound like a guy who really believes in this case? Come on.
Okay. Well, but some of my other questions, just, you know, as we get into these specific indictments, as for the indictments that are at the end of the 14, 15, and 16, to talk about the conspiracy with the person who evidently worked for the police department to get license plates and puts them out there. What's your theory on how that amounts to intimidation of the witness?
That's another great question. Like, how is it in conspiracy to commit witness intimidation? Because Janelle Webb ran a license plate who she didn't know the identity of, and then gave me the name of the person who the plate belongs to. Again, she had no idea going into it what I was doing this for. She had no idea who the plate belonged to. People who have been following Turtleboy for some time know that, you know, like I showed it in this video montage I made the other day, which, you know, you guys should check out if you haven't already. I published this like 2 nights ago. We've been working on it for a while. The witness intimidation charge.
And you think a journalist can
tell the. So I just wanted to know if you could talk to me about that, and maybe you could tell. Maybe you and I could go for a ride. We could find them Advantage Boys. Bang bang. I don't know. So give me a call when you get this. Bye. Let's see if he calls back. I don't know. It was obvious satire and obviously not witness intimidation. The Commonwealth knows it was satire, but they intentionally did not tell the grand jury it was satire or mention the videos I was mocking. This is how it was presented in court.
And you think a journalist can call up a witness and say, it's Turtleboy from them Advantage Boys. Bang, 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 bang. We'll fuck any of you dogs up. You think any journalist can call up a witness and say that and not have it be construed as witness intimidation or a threat?
I was indicted for intimidating Sergeant 𝗫𝗄𝗄𝗆 because I asked him questions about his intentional choice not to follow up on a major lead in John O'Keefe's murder and then called him names. Despite having a badge and a gun, Buchanan told the grand jury he felt intimidated by the name call. Sergeant Bukkake, are you trying to arrest me for wiretapping? Why did you pursue? Why were you talking about me during your whole interview with Lucky Laughlin? What have you done to follow up on the footage?
Loser.
What have you done? What have you done to follow
Like, that's
up on
a
that
sign?
Ford Edge that 𝗺𝗲𝗄𝗏 told you about? Why did you not interview? Why did you not interview? Why did you not interview? Why did you not interview 𝗺𝗲𝗄𝗏? Why did you not interview 𝗺𝗲𝗄𝗏, sir, until August 10th? After, are you ashamed, sir? I mean, is this why you went through the academy, to cover for punks like Michael Proctor? You're Michael Proctor's bitch. That's all you are, son. You're Michael Proctor's little bitch. You're a fucking pig. You're a disgrace. You're a fucking disgrace. And these two guys here, they know it.
Why am I not being arrested?
That's a fucking joke. I can't believe I have to wear the same uniform as this clown, as this corrupt pig. Look at you. Look at you. You freaking pig. You disgust me. You disgust me. You loser. You loser. You freaking loser.
Yeah, so 𝗵𝗂𝗺𝗺. That never gets old. That never gets old.
I never physically threatened anyone.
Yeah, so I made this whole thing, but I was talking back to the conspiracy thing, the reason I did this. So check out this video if you haven't already. It perfectly sums up it, because a lot of people like the newbies are like, so what are you being charged for? Witness intimidation? Explain it to me. I'm like, I don't even know where to start. So you can watch like 20 hours of the Glares breakdown of this, or I could just make a quick video, hour long. Like, you need an hour though, Yeah, people were like, it's 𝗵𝗂𝗺𝗃𝗍. Like, give me a break, dude. I'm talking about 𝗵𝗂𝗺𝗍. Calling him 𝗵𝗂𝗺, for crying out loud. 𝗵𝗂𝗺. It's when somebody like multiple guys come on a woman's face, all right? Or a man, I guess, but it's really better if it's a woman. And, it's just not the same. It's not the same. Not that there's anything wrong with, I guess, a guy getting 𝗵𝗂𝗺𝗃, but, Anyway, traditionally, it's a woman. Now, let me find the conspiracy thing. I want to get to that. I want to show you what I'm talking about here. Lizzie Proctor. Okay, here it is. So here's the conspiracy one, right?
(2023) DA Mike Morrissey issued a press release claiming that Michael Proctor had no personal relationships with any of the witnesses.
Trooper Proctor was not there and did not plant evidence at 34 Fairview Road. In addition to having no opportunity to plant the evidence, as has been suggested, Proctor would have no motive to do so. Trooper Proctor had no close personal relationship with any of the parties involved in the investigation and had no conflict. And he had no reason to step out of this investigation. Every suggestion to the contrary is a lie.
1 month later, on September 25th, Jennifer McCabe's car was seen parked in the Proctor's driveway. I knew that was Jennifer McCabe's Jeep, but wanted to double check for journalistic purposes.
Yes.
So I made a post asking for someone to run a license plate for me, something I have done dozens of times over the years to identify scumbags. Several people reached out and offered to run the plate. All of them came back with one name, McCabe. This proved that Morrissey lied in his press release about the Proctors not having personal relationships with any witnesses and was a major news story. But Proctor and the state police called this act of journalism conspiracy to commit witness intimidation and indicted me and one of the many people who ran the plate.
On September 25th, 2023, at 3:04 p.m., an ex account formerly Twitter associated with Kearney posted this message of photograph. The poster depicts the front of 6 Wentworth Road in Canton, home of Michael and Elizabeth Proctor. The white Jeep wrangling the photo belongs to Jennifer McCabe. And there are photographs that are appended to this report. I read from Judge.
State police called them came back with one name, McCabe. This proved that Morrissey's license plate car was seen parked in the Proctor's driveway. I knew that was Jennifer McCabe's Jeep, but wanted to double check for journalistic purposes. So I made a post asking for someone to run a license plate for me.
This one, like, this is what I'm talking about. So I've been doing this for years. Like, this is not some new thing I'm doing to intimidate witnesses. Like, this is a 2021 post. Any turtle riders want to run a license plate for me?
Something I have done dozens of
anyone run a license plate for me
times over the years.
We need turtle riders identifying this skag. A woman abandons her cat in Dorchester. We need to run her license plate to figure out who she is.
Identify scumbag.
Like, this is what I did for years to identify shit dicks. It's just what I did. And ratchets and handicap parkers. That was a big thing. I had a whole series on people who used to park in handicap spots. It was like a pet peeve of mine. And because it happened all the time. I hate people who park in handicap spots. And I would be like, I would encourage people to send me in illegal handicap parkers once a week. And I would run the plates. I would make a post saying, anybody want to run a plate for me? And people would do it. At like tow truck drivers, PIs, cops, dispatchers, everybody did it. And it's not illegal. It's frowned upon. It can get you fired or disciplined. But if you look it up, cops do it all the time. And when they get caught, they get like a slap on the wrist. Nobody gets charged with conspiracy. Conspiracy to commit witness intimidation. Talk about a reach. I mean, talk about it. When I made a post similar to this, I go, I need someone to run a license plate for me. Maybe it's not Jennifer McCabe's car, right? Maybe I've got this wrong. Maybe it's another white Jeep. Why? I mean, because I'm just double checking my story here. If that's not Jennifer McCabe's car parked in Michael Proctor's driveway, well, I got egg on my face, don't I? People are going to be like, well, there's a lot of people who drive white Jeeps. How do you know that's hers? Running the license plate was the only way to prove that. And proving that Michael Morrissey lied about the relationship between the Proctors and the Alberts is not witness intimidation. It's journalism. Like, that's journalism right there. Just because Jennifer McCabe doesn't like that and Michael Morrissey doesn't like that doesn't mean it's not journalism. So that's, and I love the fact that the judge brought this up tells me that he gets it. He's like, so how is that conspiracy to commit witness intimidation? Like, how is that? Explain that one to me. Go ahead.
A conspiracy to intimidate a witness? Yeah. Which is a little different, as Your Honor knows, from the actual intimidation. Yeah. There was testimony that this person had done this sort of thing for Mr. Kearney before, that she was familiar with his online activities, and that she knew that what was likely going to happen when she turned over this license plate was that it was going to be used to dox the witness. So
she knew that it was going to be used to dox the witness. She didn't know who the license plate belonged to when I gave it to her. So how could she know what I was going to do? I gave her a plate and she ran it through, and that's the name that came out the other end. She was not in on anything. There's no plan. For all I know, that wasn't Jennifer McCabe's car. You know what I mean? I could have just published the story and said it's Jennifer McCabe's car. But what if it wasn't? Then it would be defamation, right? We don't want to defame them. We want to make sure we get this story right. You know? That's the other thing. Yes, Maven. Why would she run the plate if she knew who it was? That's such a good point. Why would she run the plate? You wouldn't run it if you knew who it belonged to. Like, that's such a good fucking point. It's just like, it makes no sense.
I think that's the essential theory. And there was also a suggestion, as I recall it, that she herself had some interaction with Mr. Kearney in the past in connection with a niece or something like that, and didn't want to get on his bad side.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I talked to Janelle about this today. She was so fired up. She sent me a text message. I'm just going to read this message I got from Janelle. She said, because she's still my homie, and she says, this fucking Cosgrove is making shit up. What testimony? She's never testified. There's no testimony from her. Never did I say that I know we're going to dox people. Like, what? And then, you know, no matter what, I chose on my own to run the plates. So, like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? You know, he's just making shit up. So anyway, yeah, she didn't want, like, so I talked to her about it, and she's like, yeah, so she actually was interviewed by 𝗵𝗂𝗺 and Fanning. They came to her work and did the whole good cop, bad cop thing about, like, we know you're intimidating witnesses. Tell us everything you know. And she was scared. And, you know, during the interview, I think she said something to the extent of, she's like, oh, yeah. She's like, oh, I followed him before. He actually wrote about my niece a couple of years ago, and I wouldn't want to get on his bad side, something like that. And now that's what he's quoting here. Like, she said, like, and I talked to her today about it. She's like, oh, she deserved it. She's fucking, my niece is horrible. I guess I wrote about her niece, something about, let's just look it up right now. Turtleboy Sports, Ratchet, changing diapers. Let's see. I mean, I search for changing diapers, Turtleboy Sports, and I see Fertilization Felicia is back using her crotch fruits to get free diapers on Rhode Island yards. This is what the kind of shit I used to write about. Like, this is the satire. I mean, I call her Fertilization Felicia. You thought 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗃 Charlie was bad. At least you're not named Fertilization Felicia. Okay? Using her crotch fruits to get free diapers on Rhode Island yard sale page, which she then sells the next day on the same page for drug money. This is like classic Turtleboy. Classic. 50-year-old man in diaper playing. What the fuck? That's a really old one. So again, I don't know what story I wrote about Janelle's niece, but she's like, it's something to do with like, she's like, she was too rough changing the diapers on the kid. Oh, I think I know. Actually, let me search for it. TV Daily News. Daycare worker. Diapers, changing diapers, maybe. Let me see. I don't remember. Talk about Turtleboy. I don't remember. Maybe if Janelle's watching, she can send me the link in for it. I'd like to, whatever. Anyway, so that's just the kind of shit. Like, bro, I've been doing that forever, 𝗁𝗂𝗄𝗃. Like, you don't get it. He's just such a fucking loser.
And I would suggest there was a reason that she didn't want to get on his bad side.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
As to some of the counts that go into the motorcade, where it goes to different people's houses with a motorcade of followers. The actions of Mr. Kearney, are you suggesting he's acting as an individual or he's acting in some sort of joint venture?
Well, I think the evidence.
Another great question. Like, you haven't charged him with a joint venture. Why is he the only one being charged? Why? Why him? Why is he the only one? If this was an illegal event, why is he the only person being charged with it? That's the first thing I said to Brian Tully when I was arrested. I'm like, what? It's just me being charged? What?
Evidence would certainly support joint venture.
But, oh yeah, but not the charge.
Essentially, there was evidence that Mr. Kearney planned this motorcade, that he broadcast what the location, the gathering point was going to be, that he showed up with a bullhorn to address the crowd.
Oh, not a bullhorn.
He had his cameraman, or perhaps it was he himself with his...
Perhaps, yeah, you might want to learn the case.
His phone
to
film the events for later broadcast. That these people proceeded at his direction to the various locations. Only the first location was announced in advance. So they got there by following him. And when he got there, he got out of the car, and statements varied somewhat from location to location, but harangued the occupants of the house as to...
so let me ask you about count two.
Harangue.
So count two talks about...
The more I watch this did not go well for him at all. This is a disaster. Like, he can't even he's fighting a loser case, and that's the best he can come up with. Well, yeah, like, he had a bullhorn, so that's what made him the bad guy. He had a bullhorn.
Intimidation of a witness, 25 to 30 people. Mr. Kearney with a bullhorn telling a witness to tell the truth. How is that not free speech?
Oh, I love this. It's just like, dude, these are great. How is that not free speech? Not how is that free speech? That's the kind of question Krupp would have asked. How is that free speech? How is that not free speech? Telling someone to tell the truth. Like, why wouldn't you want her to tell the truth? So let's see what he says.
Well,
so what involves name?
It's the one that involves what?
Ms. Name comes from it.
Well, I don't want to sound like Bill Clinton. It depends on what the meaning of is. Right. But in the context of Mr. Kearney,
that's not good. Like, when you go, I don't want to sound like Bill Clinton. That depends on what the definition of is. You know, you don't feel passionate about this case if that's your answer.
Saying, tell the truth. I think the witness would clearly understand that what he's instructing the witness is tell my version of the truth.
I think. So now they're putting words in my mouth. They don't have me saying on video, tell my version of the truth. They don't have me saying that. They have me saying, tell the truth. So the best that they can do is put words in my mouth. That's it. I never said tell my version of the truth. I said tell the truth. Everyone should tell the truth. That is very different from tell my version of the truth.
In other words, don't change your testimony, or don't testify.
In other words, change your testimony or don't testify. I mean, talk about putting words in my mouth. Where did I ever say change? That's the thing, is you have, in order to commit witness intimidation, you have to say change your testimony. I never said that. So the best that they can do is literally put words in my mouth and tell me what, no, yeah, he said this, but this is what he actually meant. That is the best that they can come up with. And so I hope the trolls are watching this, because just, you know, this is it. This is all you have to work with. This is what you think you're going to convict me on. This is what you're getting excited about, is you think that this guy's going to convince a jury or a judge like this judge to be like, yeah, well, he didn't say that, but this is what he meant, though. That's what he meant. He's got a YouTube show. He's mean, Your Honor. He's mean. Do you know Webb is scared of him? What?
Okay. And then,
okay, he's like
releasing the phone numbers to the public. In your view, does that cross the line? Taking the phone number of an officer or a private citizen and putting that out on his website? Is that something that you think is protected speech? Obviously,
so this is a tough one. If he says it is protected speech, or if it's illegal, then how are you going to explain Ken Mello putting Tim Bradle's phone number in a public court document? Because again, I didn't put the phone numbers out there. Alan Jackson did. And I'm not throwing him under the bus, but that's where I got them from. Filing Jennifer McCabe's public call log. The phone numbers were all on there. Anyone can witness them. Anyone can share that. I'm under no obligation to redact something that the court hasn't redacted. Period. I think that would not happen today. I think Spanky would make sure that was impounded. Oh, no, we can't have that. Witness intimidation.
Right, but from your point of view, does that amount to intimidation of a witness?
I think there's a distinction between your ordinary, if there is such an ordinary thing as putting somebody's phone number on a website, and doing it to a witness in a criminal case with the intent to intimidate that witness. And I think this also relates to a comment that that Mr. Bradle made. From the defense perspective, the court is to look at this with a very limited lens. Just look at what Mr. Kearney did. Don't look at what else happened. The fact that Mr. Kearney said, throw a rock or show up for an exhibit, or and that's a hypothetical, or show up for an event, or here's the phone number, go ahead and call. Well, he's not responsible if what results from that are a ton of annoying phone calls, obscene phone calls,
I'm not,
etc. But I would suggest that that's the intent.
I would suggest
that the grand jury could find in posting that, and
they
that's
could
the practical result of what's being posted. And the intent further is to harass and intimidate the witness.
Like that's the best. Does that sound like a guy who's real confident in his things? Like, yeah, it could happen. That could be. That's probably what he meant to do. Or I just shared a public court document. That's it. And honestly, I can share people's phone numbers. It's his work phone number too. And if people call it, then you can just change your number. It happens. People's phone numbers get out there. You can just change it. It's not witness intimidation. Somebody shares your phone number. You can just change your phone number if you don't like it. It's not intimidation. Stop it.
Okay. Anything that you want to say that you haven't said already, Mr. 𝗺𝗵𝗃, in support of your position? I know I started off by asking questions, but if you have anything you want to direct my attention to,
sure.
You think it's important, I'm happy to listen. And I love Mr. Bradle the same opportunity. I'm ready. Let me start with Mr. 𝗺𝗵𝗃 and I'll leave you.
I'd just say a couple of things. First, I heard Mr. Bradle say there was no evidence of this and there was no evidence of that. And with due respect to my brother, I think he's making a layman's mistake in his characterization of evidence. When a witness testifies that I was watching a YouTube presentation and I heard Mr. Kearney urge people to order pizzas and not pay for them, that's evidence.
No, it's evidence.
Grand jurors can believe it or disbelieve it. The defendant can contest it in court if that same evidence is offered in court. But the fact is, it's evidence of what happened.
It's evidence of what happened. So Chris Albert says that people called in pizzas to his pizza shop, and if it's whatever. Like, the problem with that, 𝗁𝗄𝗄𝗆, is that when we get to trial, if it makes it that far, which you better hope that it fucking doesn't, because you're gonna look really stupid if it does. But if it does make it that far, you got nothing. I'm telling you right now that Chris Albert saying that happened, he's lying to you. Nobody ever called in a pizza to his pizza shop and didn't pick it up. It never happened. He can't document it. There's no evidence. And People are going to watch a video. The jury's going to watch a video of him threatening to bash my head up and down the sidewalk, and they are not going to believe a fucking word he said. And they're going to find out he killed a man in 1994, and they're not going to believe a word that he said. They're going to realize this guy's full of shit. I never said it. You can go through every fucking video. There are people who are so obsessed with me that their entire life is dedicated to chronicling everything that I do. And they can't find that. They can't find that tape because it doesn't exist. And again, that video I put out the other day, that got, one of the people who's obsessed with me like that is somebody by the name of 𝗺cie𝗶𝗄𝗺, Your Honor. 𝗺cie𝗶𝗄𝗺. But the problem with so right after, apparently, someone sent this to me. So right after I posted my video, 𝗺cie, of course, literally like within hours, does a Turtleboy witness intimidation mix.
Chris, when am I going to get? Why don't you give it to me?
Mix and 1.9 thousand views. That's it. I got 32,000, 33,000 on mine. Yeah, it sucks to have no influence, doesn't it? It sucks that nobody's paying attention to you, doesn't it? Because you'll never be daddy, will you? You'll never be. But anyway, but my point is that if 𝗺cie𝗶𝗄𝗺 can't find a video of me saying that, and her entire life revolves around, clipping things that I say and putting them out of the context, it probably never happened. So there's that.
So I don't think the statement that there is no evidence is accurate. I think in a broader sense, Your Honor, the difference between Mr. Bradle's position on behalf of Mr. Kearney in the Commonwealth is that when you ask, where is the line? Yeah. Mr. Bradle's position is essentially there's no line.
No, he said that. He said that's not what he said. He said true threats and fighting words.
The Commonwealth's position is that whatever might be the case, there's two lines of cases. There's the line that Mr. Bradle is relying on here, and he suggests that to be consistent with those cases, which talk about imminent harm, and which talk about threats being made to the person's face and threats of bodily injury and so forth, that this statute must be unconstitutional and that it is to be construed consistent with these civil cases that he cites. And both of the cases that he mentioned are civil cases. The Commonwealth's position is that whatever the position towards the general public, and I alluded to that earlier, the courts have said that restrictions are possible when there are reasonable limitations as to time, place, and means. And we see that in a number of ways in cases that have been approved by the courts, cases that have recently had an approval of Judge Cannoni's order with respect to picketing in the Karen Reed case. That wasn't held as an unconstitutional violation. We have decisions in 209A orders where judges order, and I'd cite the court to the case that I didn't mention in my brief, Commonwealth versus Butler. What happened in that case, I think it's fairly well known. Your Honor may be familiar with it. Young woman on the day of her birthday went to her door and found some flowers that were anonymously delivered. I think we'd agree that if you send somebody some flowers on her birthday, that communicates typically a message. Hopefully the message it communicates is happy birthday. Unfortunately for Mr. Butler, about 3 months earlier, the court had entered a 209A order, no contact directly or indirectly. They traced the flowers back to Mr. Butler, was prosecuted, found guilty, the conviction was upheld.
Wait. He brought up a case where a guy who had a restraining order, a woman has a restraining order on some guy, and he sends her flowers, which is illegal. It's contact, obviously. It's contact. The illegal part about it's not witness intimidation, douchebag. We're talking about witness intimidation. That's obviously illegal because she has a restraining order on him. He's not allowed to do that. None of these people have restraining orders on me. If Jennifer McCabe had a restraining order on me and I called her on the phone and left a voicemail, or Colin Albert had a restraining order on me and I called him on the phone and left that voicemail, that would obviously be illegal. That's against the law, and he'd have a point. But this guy wasn't charged with what? There's a fucking, I mean, this is the best case law he could find. This is it. Again, trolls, I hope you learned something watching this. This is the best that Cosgrove could come up with. And it's not his fault. It's not his fault. This is a weak case that is going nowhere. That's not why I'm not worried. It's weak.
That sort of thing happens on 209A orders all the time, which ostensibly you could look at on their face and say, oh, this infringes on my right of association. This infringes on my right to travel. This infringes on my right to make witty satirical statements. Nevertheless.
But Mr. Kearney is a satirist. I mean,
yes.
In essence, a lot of this is satire.
Well, I don't mean to be.
I love it. Again, Bradel didn't get grilled like this. I mean, he did. Bradel had an answer for everything. He's like, Mr. Kearney is a satirist. Like, he makes jokes. So what's up with that?
He flipped, but so what?
Okay.
So what?
That's fine.
I don't think there's a special rule for satirists if the so-called satire is made with intent to intimidate.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I see your argument.
Yeah, I see your argument.
I'll stop at this
That's
point.
fine. I'll give this to Brady. I'll give you just a minute. I could make your argument.
He's trying to be fair, you know. Okay, fine. I see your argument. If the satire was intended to intimidate the witness, but the satire wasn't. So there's that.
Pretty well. Anything else you want to say?
There are some things, Your Honor. I just invite your attention to pages 9 and 10 of my brief, Judge, where the standard of how this speech is supposed to be judged is set forth. And just a couple of quotes.
That guy, I know.
Speech on matters of public concern is at the heart of the First Amendment's protection. Speech concerning public affairs is more than self-expression. It is the essence of self-government. Speech on public issues occupies the highest rung of the hierarchy of First Amendment values and is entitled to special protection. The Commonwealth is arguing the other way around. Give us the benefit of the doubt, Judge Doolin. You know, hey, evidence can be construed in different ways. Evidence needs to be linked to a particular person committing a crime. That's what they're lacking here, Judge. And this 𝗫𝗏 conspiracy to run a license plate business, Your Honor, the Commonwealth indicted Ms. Webb, and then for some reason, and I think I know the reason, thought better of bringing the case to court and never.
This is such a good point.
Never charged her, never did anything with that indictment, which I've never seen in my time. And I think
we have to point out how ridiculous that is. Janelle Webb was indicted for conspiracy to commit witness intimidation, which was ridiculous in and of itself. And then they forgot to arraign her. They forgot. They arraigned me the next day because I'm the big prize. You know, I'm the one that gets the media. Nobody gives a shit about Janelle Webb. No offense to Janelle. And I think that's the way he likes it. But you know, she's a turtle rider. She's a fan. You know what I mean? She's not part of the show. So, you know, she didn't sign up for this. She ran a license plate. It's like, whatever, you know? And by the way, like Krusty Panties posted her name on Facebook before we were ever charged with conspiracy to commit witness intimidation, before I was ever arrested, which means she's worked, like the state police obviously gave her that information. We got screenshots with the timestamps, all that shit on it, you know? And she's never been charged. Tim Bradel's like, I've never heard of that before. Somebody gets indicted and then the charging is just a formality at that point. Like, why was she never officially charged?
I think what happened there was that the government, the state police probably realized that, hey, they run these plates on the sly all the time for boyfriends, girlfriends, et cetera, et cetera. And they don't want in the system a precedent where a police affiliated person, quote unquote, runs a plate and then gets indicted for a felony. And I think that's why that never saw the light of day. So there never was any conspiracy charge lodged against Ms. Webb. It's past the year presumptive speedy trial. So that case is effectively dead, Your Honor. That's an important fact the court ought to know.
Yep. So that according to the law, you have 1 year after indictment to be charged, or else they charge. That's motion to dismiss right there. Fair and speedy trial. That's the law. So if they do try to charge her, it will be dropped it'll be one of the easiest dismissals ever. So there's that. And that's such a good point he made there about how the cops don't want Janelle Webb to be charged because guess what? They know that they all do it all the time. They all do it all the time. And nobody gets in trouble for it. You know, they fucking Leah Genduso, when I wrote about her, right? Like she Googled her boyfriend, Dan Ristine. Didn't Google him, just him. Like searched him on the system a whole bunch of times. She ended up getting caught and got like a slap on the wrist. They all get a slap on the wrist if they get caught. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal to run someone's license plate. And look, if you do it to commit witness intimidation, that's not why she did it. That's not why I asked her to do it. I had no idea.
And also, it's not a crime to run a plate. So there was no criminal object of the conspiracy to run a plate. They just want to change. They want to erase the word conspiracy to run a plate, and let's put something in there, even though there's no evidence of it, let's put something in there that'll fly, like conspiracy to commit witness intimidation. There's no evidence whatsoever that 13B was implicated in any running of a plate. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It couldn't be more newsworthy. The district attorney had just gone on television with a remarkable statement vouching for witnesses in his case, that they were fine, they were on the up and up, and
I'm not
leave them
interested in
alone.
that, but in terms of, so you're under indictments 14, 15, and 16. Your argument is that there's insufficient evidence for those to actually be a crime.
There's no criminal object. And even in the grand jury, Sergeant Tully admits, and he says it's not a crime, it's an administrative violation. He says words to that effect. You'll see it. And he does refer to that, and it's not a crime. That's why they couldn't say conspiracy to run a plate, against the rules, because it's not a crime. That's why they switched it to conspiracy to intimidate a witness. It's not intimidating to prove the exact opposite of what the district attorney said publicly, that these witnesses are affiliating with the state police and do know the state police and are visiting them at their home. So it couldn't be more newsworthy, Your Honor.
Look at Erica.
And that's what was behind running
the whole
plate.
time.
It's not to intimidate anybody, but to shine the light of day on corruption. So that's that. And Judge, another thing about this First Amendment issue, and whether it's a jury question or a judge question, this is a judge question. You're not the first trial judge that even in my practice that has dealt with this, and I put this in my materials. You have Judge Walsh and Stoughton.
Yeah, there was two judges, right?
Right, and so Judge Walsh actually did two things, Your Honor. He did Mr. 𝗵𝗿, who's here in the courtroom today. And
Yes, Rich 𝗵𝗿 was there.
Is the guy that put rubber ducks all around Canton with political state.
Look at Rich 𝗵𝗿 is just sitting there. I'm the rubber ducky guy. I'm the kingpin. It's great to see Rich 𝗵𝗿 there. And again, Rich 𝗵𝗿 put ducks all over Canton, and they'll say, well, it wasn't just ducks. It's what it said on the ducks that made it illegal. What did it say on the ducks? Well, it said Colin did it. Half of them said Colin did it. The other half said free Karen Reed. So they're saying that the ducks weren't illegal. It was the Colin did it. Like saying Colin did it was the witness intimidation. Well, guess what? Judge Walsh said that's not saying Colin did it in or around Colin Albert and Chris Albert is not witness intimidation. It's just not. And he dismissed the charges. So the precedent has now been set that saying Colin did it or Jennifer McCabe did it or anything like that, that is not witness intimidation. It might be something else. Maybe you can come up with something else, but witness intimidation, it doesn't fit. So you're going to have to come up with something else, like sue him if you don't like, what I mean? Good luck there. But witness intimidation, that ain't it, dude. That ain't it.
It's about the Reed case. And remarkably, the Canton Police Department did a 37-page investigation that was, if they applied that
That's what I'm saying.
Case,
good point.
Those folks wouldn't even be here anymore either. But they did a 37-page investigation into Mr. 𝗵𝗿 putting rubber ducks all around Canton. And that's the Judge Walsh opinion, and you'll see it in there. Denied on First Amendment grounds. It's not witness intimidation. Denied on, and arguably.
And that's such a good point. At no point, I mean, you want to talk about intent. At no point did I ever think that as a result of my protesting and my activism that I had the ability to get any of these people to change their testimony. At no point did I ever think that anyone was going to change anything that they said. That was not my goal. I mean, that would be a huge waste of time. None of these people are going to change their, absent a physical threat, which I'm obviously not going to do. None of these people, I'm going to get these people to change their testimony because I'm calling them up and doing crank phone calls and shit. Like what? That's not going to get them to change their testimony. You would have to be retarded to think that that's the goal, is to influence people's testimony. Like, no, if anything, all of these people's testimony became more ridiculous after I did this. Like Julie Nagel's, when I protested outside of her house, her testimony on record thus far was there was a shadowy figure on the front lawn. That turned into a 6-foot black blob as a result of my. So I guess it didn't. If I'm the witness intimidator, I'm a really bad one. I'm not good at it. Like Jennifer McCabe went from could I have hit him? Did I hit him? To I hit him. I hit him. I hit him. That didn't work. What are these people talking about? No threats. Give me a break.
The difference between that and saying you make the work miserable, isn't it?
Well, Judge, that's O'Brien v. Borowski. That's foreclosed by Brian. Fear of being sued, fear of being yelled at, fear of being embarrassed doesn't cut it. If I just could have one moment.
Yeah, no, take your time.
So
The
so
team,
with respect
the
to these
team.
rubber ducks, you know, it's the exact same kind of thing that Mr. Kearney's accused of doing, and it's thrown out on First Amendment grounds. It's Colin did it. It's, you know, statements about the case. It's the same kind of thing. And, you know, they went after him. And that's what happens when these kinds of bad statutes get used for ulterior motives by self-interested police and prosecutors.
Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful argument on both parts.
Thank you.
Both groups were very good.
Wonderful.
I'll take it under advisement, and I'll have something for you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor.
Next scene, please. Oh, yeah. Let me just, I talked to the lawyers at site for a minute.
And this is how I knew.
Maybe over here.
This is when I knew they were talking about the whole new
Your Honor,
thing. Now, this is a lie. I want to point this out.
This morning, I was informed that there was an incident last night. Apparently, the defendant and a friend were at C.F. McCarthy's, which is a bar in Canton. It's next door to 𝗵𝗵𝗄𝗃 Pizza, which is owned by one of the witnesses in this case, and his son, who is also a witness in this case, and I should say they're witnesses in the Karen Reed case, works there, and they are both victims listed within the indictments that are before you, Your Honor. At the end of the evening, the son closed up at 𝗵𝗵𝗄𝗃 Pizza and went home. There was a video.
Just to be clear, I had no idea, and I don't even know if this is true, that Colin Albert worked at 𝗵𝗵𝗄𝗃 Pizza. None whatsoever. It doesn't surprise me. I guess that makes sense. But I've never seen him. I see Jim Ferris delivering pizzas. I've never seen Colin Albert doing it. But, you know, and I knew Chris Albert was at the select board meeting, so I knew he wasn't there. I specifically went at a time when I knew that I wouldn't be running into Chris Albert. So there's that.
Camera, possibly more than one in particular, in the window of 𝗵𝗵𝗄𝗃 Pizza. And what it recorded was that Mr. Kearney left C.F. McCarthy's next door and in the company of a friend, or shortly joined by a friend, walked up, either noticed or had previously noticed the video camera, and walked up to the window quite close, pressed his face up against the window almost, and then stepped back for a moment or two.
So I went, I looked in a window of a store that was empty. Okay, then what?
Spent a couple of minutes just staring there, and then went into a 2-minute.
I guess you could. I don't know if creepiness is a crime. I guess you could say that's. If you just saw a guy staring at a window, which is apparently what I was doing, just staring, I did not know that was illegal. But go ahead.
It's a diatribe, saying hello to the witness. What have you done? I wish he was alive today. Why did you do that, Chris? He's talking to Chris Albert, the witness.
So what do you guys think he's talking about there? He would be alive today. Who is he trying to make the judge think that I'm talking about here? What do you guys think? Who is Cosgrove? Again, he's reading a police report here, written by Brian Tully. Who is he trying to make it sound like I'm talking about? Who's dead? Who is he trying to make it sound like I'm talking about? Yeah. John O'Keefe, right? But I'm not. First of all, I had no idea there's audio recording. I had no idea. So had I known, obviously I wouldn't talk to Chris Albert. Like, I have no desire to do that. But they know that I said the words Peter Berger. They know that because they gave us the videos in evidence. You can hear the words Peter Berger on it. So they intentionally kept that part out. They lied. Another lie from them. That's all they can do is lie.
I just want to know. And he goes on to say, and I have to paraphrase from here, Your Honor, because I didn't get it all down in the brief time that I viewed it. But I know you didn't do it. Colin did it.
I never said that.
And then he goes on.
Again, there is no audio of me saying Colin did. That is a complete lie. They sent us the videos. I never said that. I never said Colin did it. That is not a sentence that came out of my mouth. That is a complete lie. All they can do to charge me is lie.
Essentially to ask why he is covering up for his son, assures him that he's not trying to frighten him. He just wants to know. Just wants to know. Now, at that point, he walked and went away, leaving Mr. Albert to find that the next morning when he reviewed his video. Now, we can talk about how many legal angels dance on the head of a pin here, Your Honor. I think I could do Mr. Bradle's argument for him. It's just speech. Nothing's meant by it. It's protected. I doubt I've saved him the trouble, but I've tried. At this point, I don't think it's an issue whether technically it meets the standards of intimidating witness. I think certainly the attempt, at least in the colloquial sense, was to harass and intimidate.
Imagine saying that the goal of me standing outside of a pizza shop. This is how desperate they are to get me. The goal of a man standing outside of a pizza shop that's empty, that I'm on video, which it's illegal to record me without alerting me to that, otherwise known as a secret recording. I'm not alerted to this, so I would have no reason to believe that anything I'm saying there would be something that Chris Albert's going to hear. Why would I possibly think that? Because Chris Albert's got a sign in his window that says, "We support the Canton Police Department." So he's a man that respects the law. So one of the laws in our country is wiretapping. At least in our country, in our state. In 11 different states, it is illegal to record somebody else if the other person doesn't know they're being recorded. So I know that Chris Albert wouldn't violate the law. So I assume the assumption is that I'm not being recorded, right? So why would I ever think Chris Albert's going to hear a thing that I'm saying at all? Why would I ever think that? At all? Well, who are you talking to then? I have a fucking audience of 5 other content creators. We're laughing, making jokes. That's it. We had a couple sangrias. Honestly, it was just grab assing. Like when you see the video, I don't know if you've seen it, it's just a couple grown men grabbing assing. That was our version of it. We're just doing some grab assing. That's it. A little grab ass, a little miming. That's it. Nobody got hurt. I mean, if you watch these videos and you're like, oh, this is his intent here is to intimidate. If you want to say, Turtleboy, why would you put yourself in that position? Okay, fine. That's a fair point. I disagree that I did anything wrong, but certainly avoiding the town of Canton altogether would, knowing how bloodthirsty these people are, I get it. You don't think I'm kicking myself in the balls? Saying, this could have been avoided if I just didn't go to Canton at all. But again, it's also a free country. I have a right to go to Canton. You know what I mean? So it's like, the point here is that this is not to say that the goal is to intimidate is such a fucking reach. Oh, you guys have seen the videos. You have seen them. Okay. Well, there's that. And if you watch those and if the goal here is anything but grab assing, then you are out of your mind.
And we always talk about these in isolation, Your Honor, but there is a drumbeat every week.
Exactly.
Of verbal attack after verbal attack.
What?
On the witnesses.
Oh, not
the offices.
It was on the news. Oh, great.
So at this point, I am going to ask the court to set bail on Mr. Kearney. He's been released on his personal recognizance. And I am also going to ask the court to set conditions. And those conditions will be no contact, direct or indirect, or through third parties. And I mean no contact in the.
So that brings us to today's hearing. And we're not going to be able to get, I guess we're not going to be able to get to the Canton Read something because it's 11:25. So we're going to have to do that tomorrow on Turtle Club and then Saturday on the show. We got a shitload of content to get through, folks. And you know me. Channel 5 show with no audio? No audio? Oh, that's ridiculous. I don't want to play it on the show. 𝗵𝗏 would kill me, so I'm not going to do that. I didn't know I was being recorded. So there's that. Let's just leave it like that. Okay. Oh, the glare show. Okay. Watch it somewhere else. I'm not showing it on mine. Okay. But then today was the bail hearing, and dude, I had to go to the bank today. Let me tell you, because they don't take checks for bail. I've never had cash bail set on me, but they always tell you like just might want to get some cash, because I'm like, what happens if I don't have cash on me? Well, then they arrest you and they put you in the holding cell until you get cash. And I had to be at the bus, I had to get to the bus. So, I go, I can't. And so I had to go to the bank this morning, and I'm like, well, how much am I going to take out? I'm like, I could have someone else. I'm like, give me 2,500. Right. And so they were like, okay. I go, but I want to raise the limit on what I can take out because I might need bail money. This is like me telling the teller this, because he's like, oh, what do you do for work? I'm like, well, I might need bail money today. So that's kind of a complicated question. Like, what do I do for work? Well, sometimes I get arrested and framed for crimes by the state, because I'm like a journalist, but also a satirist. And according to some people, I'm also a felon. So it's kind of, it depends who you're asking. But, I ended up taking, I'm like, they couldn't like raise it was just too complicated. I'm like, can you give me 10 grand? And because I'm like, that's what they asked for last time, was 10 grand. So I just got 10 grand in cash. I've never had that much cash on me. He just gave me 10 grand in cash, all hundos, balling. And I'm like, I'm probably going to be back here and just deposit. And I was later on. I just deposited right back in the bank. So I just got 10 grand. We brought 10 grand into court with me, cash. We were ready just to go. And that, as it turns out, that is exactly what Cosgrove asked for, was 10 G's. And although he only asked for 1,000 surety, you only had to pay 1,000 up front. You only have to, when they said bail, it's only 10%. The only 10%. So, like, I must have sounded so shady to this poor bank teller at the TD Bank on West Boylston Street in Worcester. Shout out to them. I'm like, so I might get bailed, but I might bring it back, So anyway, I knew I knew they weren't going to put bail on me. I knew he just wanted to put some conditions on me. And we go into this, hearing, and it's like, of course the media is all there. They're loving this shit. They're not around for the important shit. And like I said, one of the questions that David Bienick from WCVB asked me was afterwards, like, would you agree with your lawyer that you shouldn't have done this? Because I felt like I let my lawyers down. I'm not going to lie. I'm just like, sorry, guys. I just created more work for you. It's like with the fake victim, like going over there. Bradel told me not to go over there. I went. And, they would have been like that. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. But, it's just like, it was pure. Like it was like we're all hanging out. It's like kids in high school again, playing some grab ass. It's like it was nothing bad at all. Like it was nothing bad at all. Like nothing. On Channel 5, they have Cosgrove reading the audio, but no, he reads it wrong though. It's like, that's the bullshit part. Is like when you play the audio, it is not what he says. It is not what they said. Like it is a complete lie. They don't put the words Peter Berger in it at all. They don't. They said Colin did it. I never said that ever at all. It's a complete lie. Like this one's going to get dismissed. Like that's another bullshit one, And it's like, I feel like we all, like I was talking to the Glairer and like Nan, and they felt bad. When I saw them the next day, they're like, I'm sorry. I feel like it's my fault. I'm like, dude, we all did it. Like we all were there. You know what I mean? Like any one of us could have been like, let's not go to 𝗃𝗏𝗺𝗃𝗃's. Let's go somewhere else. But again, the French fries are the bomb. And we wanted to go to 𝗃𝗏𝗺𝗃's. And I'm always welcomed at 𝗃𝗏𝗺𝗃's. So, like it is what it is. Like Lauren was there too. Everyone was there. Like, but it is what it is. And it's like, nobody got fucking hurt. Nobody got intimidated. I looked into a fucking window and you know, the Glare did the things where he puts his fucking arms, you know, behind me. Like, the only thing I'll show you is like a picture, a still shot. You might have seen this still shot. The trolls are like losing their minds over this shit. Like, is there anyone out there that like really believes like this is witness intimidation? Does anyone actually, does this look like felony witness intimidation to you? I don't know. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Like, that's Will's hands behind me. And I'm just looking at a fucking window. And like, that's a felony. You can call it like immature. You can call it unwise. Like, like they're going to go in front of a fucking Tully put in the arrest report that in their report, I think he should be arrested. He asked for an arrest warrant for this, an arrest warrant. This is grab ass. That's what this is. This is grown men grab assing each other. Like, it's, oh my God. Oh my gosh. Anyway, it's just comedy. Again, that's all it is. It's like, I'm not that serious. Like, it's like, guys, I'm not that serious. Like, chill out. It's just a fucking joke. Murder's not a joke. I mean, that's kind of fucked up. But like, this whole thing, this is a joke, bro. This is a joke. Like, give me a break. Like that, like you're gonna present this in court and be like, Your Honor, look at these guys, witness intimidating. Oh my God. Anyway, so you know, we went into court today and they made their let's watch some of this.
Before the court, numbers 4 and 5, Commonwealth versus Aidan Kearney, 23 CR 313, 24 CR 43. Mr. Kearney is present, along with his attorneys, Timothy Bradel and Mark Federer. The Commonwealth is represented by Special Assistant District Attorney Robert Cosgrove. Matter is on for bail hearing. The parties could please identify themselves for the record.
Good morning, Your Honor. Robert Cosgrove for the
Hi, Mr. Cosgrove. Hello, Your Honor. Tim Bradel on behalf of Aidan Kearney to my left.
Okay. Your Honor, Mark Federer for Mr. Kearney. All right. Good afternoon, gentlemen. You can be seated. Mr. Cosgrove, I've seen the video. Go right ahead.
Well, thank you, Your Honor, for hearing us today. I have a couple of things that I would like to do. Your Honor has seen the video. I want to put some observations about the contents of that video on record, and I want to draw on the police report, a copy of which I have provided to counsel. I'm going to read excerpts from it that I think are significant because aside from summarizing the contents of that video for the record, they also summarize somewhat the reactions of the Alberts upon viewing that video. Lieutenant Tully's report would indicate that at approximately 8:15 in the morning yesterday, he spoke with Chris Albert, who, as Your Honor knows, is a witness in the open superior court case of Commonwealth versus Karen Reed. Yesterday in the presentation, I referred to a number of incidents which Mr. Kearney was indicted for, which the Commonwealth alleges constituted intimidation of the witness with respect to Mr. Albert and with respect to his son and to other witnesses in this trial as well. And I made reference at that time to the videos, which I believe you have been provided by Mr. Bradel in his filing that were played before the grand jury that record some of the background. And I think that's important, Your Honor, because if we're talking about, to draw an analogy, Chinese water torture.
Chinese water torture.
It's the accumulation.
Chinese water torture.
Whatever one thinks of this video, it has to be placed in that context. Lieutenant Tully continues.
Like, we're really calling. I mean, what world am I in right now? Really, guys? Chinese water torture? Water? Are you fucking kidding me? It's like I'm waterboarding these motherfuckers. Yeah, it is a little racist. A little racist there, Kazi. Easy with the Asian stuff. And your skin, not looking too good. You're looking like Robert the Bruce, his dad there. Not looking good.
Mr. Chris Albert, who I will refer now to avoid confusion simply as Chris, sent in emails with 2 videos from March 4th. They are from his restaurant, D&E Pizza, on 618 Washington Street in Canton, depicting Mr. Kearney. One video depicts Kearney walking down the sidewalk from the direction of C.F. McCarthy's, which is located next to D&E Pizza at 614 Washington Street. And the group is seen leaving C.F. McCarthy's that later joins Mr. Kearney. Mr. Kearney stops in front of D&E and places his face next to the front glass window of D&E. And an interior camera captures Kearney standing close to the glass, staring into the camera for approximately 25 seconds. A male with that group then exited C.F. McCarthy's and joins Kearney. Kearney then begins speaking into the interior camera for over 1 minute. The audio is captured by an exterior camera. The sound of occasional passing motor vehicles obscures the audio, but Lieutenant Tully could discern what he describes as the following statements made by Kearney.
Oh, so Lieutenant Tully gets to decide what I said. Okay.
Pause at this point to put on record what the court already knows, which is that subsequent to the Lieutenant Tully's composing this report, we made efforts to merge the two videos into one video and to enhance the audio. So that is what your honor was presented with. The videos themselves were not changed in any way, but they were merged. So essentially you see them both playing.
So they merged, the audio sucks in both videos. So they took them and then merged them together. They did that. Okay.
At the same time, and you hear an enhanced audio, which in my view is still not great. As Lieutenant Tully heard it,
that's it.
Mr. Kearney said
As
this.
Lieutenant
"Hi, Chris.
Tully heard it.
What have you done? Murdered. Something's inaudible. Misses you. Wishes he was alive today. He would be. Why did
Something inaudible. Something inaudible wishes he was alive today. His name is not something. His name was Peter Berger. He was 24 years old. He was a Hungarian exchange student going to school at Johnson & Wales, trying to live the American dream. His family was back in post-communist Hungary, trying to put their life together. Their son, born in 1970, was the first person to go to college. He was going to make it. They had that dream for their son, and he came to America, and he was going to do great things, and he was going to school, and he was with Peggy Lau, a lovely Asian woman, and they were just minding their own business on I-95. When out of nowhere came this raging alcoholic, drunk behind the wheel, entitled 22-year-old punk who happens to be named Chris Albert, who then rear ends them, sends them spiraling off the highway, kills them both, and he drives away. And his car, he's found 2 days later, sober, turns himself in, gets 6 months in jail. Okay? That's who something is. He called him something. His name is not something. His name is Peter Berger. Say his name, Kazi. Peter Berger. And when they eliminate that name, it makes it sound like I'm talking about John O'Keefe, which makes it sound like I'm accusing Chris Albert of killing John O'Keefe, which I'm not, which I never have. I've never once accused Chris Albert of killing John O'Keefe, and I'm not going to start now. He didn't kill Peggy Lau. Peggy Lau survived. And I've been trying to get this guy Dave on there. Dave saved Peggy's life. Dave G, who came to the Karen Reed protest outside of court. I took a picture with them in June. He was the first person on the scene. He was a truck driver, and he pulled Peggy out of that car, and she lived. And he'll never forget it. And he lives in Canton or that area now, and I've asked him to come on the show a few times, and he's afraid to do it because his wife owns a business in town, and he doesn't want to deal with the McAlbert Mafia. And so they talk about witness intimidation. You can't even talk about witnessing a murder because they will attack you if you talk too much, witness intimidation, my ass. I mean, unbelievable. His name's Peter Berger. He had a lovely family and parents who were halfway across the world when they found out that their son, who came here to live the American dream, was murdered in cold blood by an entitled 22-year-old American who, is the most protected and connected person in Massachusetts. I mean, it's just fucking crazy. Absolutely crazy. Killed the man. 6 months. It would have been a lot longer if he had stuck around. If he didn't, fleeing the scene is the best thing he could do because he sobered up. You get a DUI charge and you kill someone like that, it's more serious. But it could have just, he dozed off behind the wheel. There's a lot of things you could say in that situation. So there's that.
Did you do that, Chris? Chris, why did you tell the jury that you got home? Why did you say you went upstairs and then waited 15 minutes? Then Colin came home. Colin didn't make it home until at least 12:45, Chris. It was Colin, Chris. Colin. I just want to know. I just want to know why Colin took so long to get to your house. Why, Chris? Please tell me why Colin did it. You can tell me. You can tell me, Chris.
I never said, please tell me why Colin did it. I never said that. Again, if they want to push it, We got the tapes too. There's other tapes too. I'm thinking. Maybe there is. I don't know. Again, they sent us the tapes. You can hear. That's not what I said. This is just a lie.
Chris, I know you didn't do it. I don't want to scare you. Tell Jill to keep their hands up to herself, too. Those are the statements he made in his conduct standing outside D&E Pizza. It's similar to the conduct that was the basis for his indictment. And Your Honor has probably viewed at this point the video of the defendant standing outside D&E Pizza accusing both of these parties of murder. When Chris saw the video shortly after the incident, he became upset. He stated he's upset for his son, Colin, and the possibility that Kearney would continue to come to the restaurant and confront him and his son.
He's worried.
And that's basically the report, Your Honor. Your Honor, there are two Aidan Kearneys.
There's
two.
two.
The courtroom Aidan Kearney, as is presented by counsel. He is careful only to exercise his First Amendment rights, and in no way does he have anything to do with the things that have happened continuously to the victims in this case as a result of his continuing broadcasts and other activities that have continued since his indictment.
Yes, thank you, Cosgrove. That's exactly it. That's not.
If Jennifer McCabe is getting anonymous letters threatening her, Your Honor, with having her head chopped off in prison, if her daughter's school is getting phone calls and letters asking her professors if they knew they have sitting in their class the daughter of a murderer, if Mr. Albert is getting...
Again, none of that happened, by the way. None of that happened. They would have shared all that shit. And even if it did, that's not on me. Talk to somebody, talk to the people that did it. I don't know what to tell you. I've never instructed anyone to do that.
Phone calls, if people are photographing him on the street and sending those photographs when he's trying to enjoy his dinner or he's at the beach to Mr. Kearney, who posts them.
Your objections, no, go right ahead, Mr. Cosgrove. We'll get to you later, Mr. Brennan.
Who posts them on the internet, that has nothing to do with him. He's only responsible for his own conduct.
Yes.
Your Honor, a few days ago, Mr. Kearney was standing outside this courtroom waiting for a Karen Reed hearing, which he was covering in his...
Oh boy, Tom
supposed role
CPU
as
enters the chat.
As he went up, he was filmed by another one of the Karen Reed supporters. He was filmed for a, quote, live show by Tom CPU. He's a Reed supporter and a YouTube personality. This video of Mr. Kearney's interview was subsequently posted on one of the free Karen Reed video shows. I watched that video, and I wrote down what Mr. Kearney said just about 2 weeks ago. It was brought to his attention by the interviewer in a friendly way that word had leaked out that all of the threatened actions by the U.S. Attorney's Office, which the witnesses in this case have been threatened with, they're going to be indicted, they're going to be marched to jail. District Attorney Morrissey's phone is being tapped. The police are corrupt. They're all going to be indicted. That investigation, if it ever was an investigation.
If it ever was, it was an investigation. There was a grand jury, and it gave us a lot. And the feds determined that John O'Keefe was not hit by a car. The FBI didn't do it. They hired a company called 𝗺𝗁, who they contract with, and they determined that John O'Keefe, his injuries are not consistent with an automobile collision. So they know that John O'Keefe was not hit by a car, and they thought it so important that they gave that information to the defense prior to the trial starting, because they thought that this was something that, was worth pointing out.
Concluded with nothing, zero, none. Mr. Kearney was asked about that, which at that time was a rumor. And here's what he said. They all know what they did. It's just so obvious. Like I said yesterday, if they are never charged, okay, they got away with murder. Congratulations. They got away with it. But I have successfully made it. So no matter where they go in public, if they walk into a restaurant, the people will always look at them funny, and they will be like, oh, there's the people that murdered John O'Keefe. When they walk into a restaurant and they look around them, they have to be thinking, who here thinks I'm a murderer?
That's not intimidation. That is not intimidation. That is not intimidation. Walking into a restaurant, that's called awkwardness. That's what that is, Cosgrove. That's awkwardness. That is not intimidation. Jennifer McCabe walking into a restaurant and being unsure if the people around her think that she committed murder, and her feeling awkward as a result of that, is not intimidation. That's fuck around, find out. I mean, I don't know what that is. I don't know. But it sure as fuck isn't witness intimidation. It's just good. And and I don't want to throw other people under the bus, but if I'm guilty of witness intimidation, isn't Rick Green? Like, aren't they going to make that argument? I'm not the one who found a Google search of her proving that she Googled how long to die and cold at 2:27 a.m. I didn't find that. I didn't publish that. I didn't put that in a public court filing. The defense did. And they're allowed to do that. So why am I the one? I did this all on my, I didn't make that up. I was just fucking, I saw a police report. I mean, a cell phone report, a Celebrate report, which I've always trusted and still do because it happened. And that showed that Jennifer McCabe Googled how long to die in cold at 2:27 a.m. Guess what? Shit's going to get awkward when that comes out. Shit's going to get awkward. You go into a restaurant, shit's going to be a little awkward. So even if they get away with murder, that's what I'm saying there. Shit's going to be awkward when you go in a restaurant. That's it. That's not witness intimidation. He knows it, too.
Right? Counsel, is he counsel for the Commonwealth? Is he a witness testifying? I have no notice of any of this stuff. What's going on here?
Okay. Your objection's noted. I'll hear from you, as I said earlier, Mr. Brado. Go right ahead. Mr. Cosgrove, what's your recommendation?
What's my recommendation? My recommendation, Your Honor, is one, that the court enter a stay-away order with respect to any property in which any of the witnesses in the Reed case for the Commonwealth or in any of the pending indictments against Mr. Kearney, and that stay-away order require him to remain a distance of at least 100 yards from any of those locations. My second recommendation is that the court enter an order with respect to all of those same people, the witnesses in the Commonwealth in the Reed case, the witnesses in all of the currently pending indictments against Mr. Kearney, that there be no contact with any of those victims, direct or indirect, through a third party, by any means whatsoever. And I hesitate, even my own respect, the First Amendment, to make any recommendation as to what Mr. Kearney can say.
I think this is when it gets outrageous. So we're like, okay, the stay away orders, first of all, I hate that the fake victim got a stay away order on that. What the fuck does she got to do any of this shit? She got one too. Everybody got one. He tried to make it so all the witnesses, so like Dr. Marie Russell, I have a stay away order on her too. Yeah, I guess so. That's what he wanted. That's what he's asking for you. The Sullivan sluts, all of them. Everybody gets a stay away order. What? I can't talk to the ARCA guys? Now
However,
watch this.
I note that to accuse someone of murder is defamation per se. It's a tort. It's not the only tort that Mr. Kearney has committed along the way. There's been
It's
invasion.
defamation per se. It's actually not shit, Dick. I know more about defamation than you do, Cosgrove, because I've been sued for defamation more times than I can count, and I never, ever lost. I usually win. Sometimes they just one case has been there for 7 years. It hasn't gone anywhere. This shit goes nowhere. Defamation's hard to prove. Like, unless you just go on there and you're like, he raped me over and over again, and there's a police report and a video showing that no rape occurred. That might be defamation. But when you say that, you're a murderer, you killed somebody, that's my opinion. And it's backed by evidence. That's all. You're allowed to say that. And that's why nobody's sued me yet. I've said it before and I say it again. I would love it if they would sue me. I would love it to defend this shit. But let's depose all these motherfuckers. Let's go. Let's fuck. They don't want to do it now because they don't want to get deposed before trial, because everything they say in that deposition is going to fuck them. The federal investigation might have slowed down, but it will pick up real quick if you start suing me. Real quick. Because that's how you don't have a Fifth Amendment right in a deposition. So yeah, it's just like he's actually saying this right now. This was outrageous that he said this.
Of privacy, than others. A witness can come to me and say, what can I do? What can I do to stop this? I didn't sign up to this. I agreed to testify. I answered your questions. I agreed to go into court. I agreed to be cross-examined, redirected, challenged. I didn't sign up for 2 continuous years of shame. Now, I don't know what I do, Your Honor. I don't know if I say to them, well, I'll tell you what. Get yourself over to the civil court, file a civil suit. You've got a pretty good defamation case against Mr. Kearney. And after you pay a lawyer $10,000, $50,000, whatever the going rate, maybe you'll find somebody to take it on contingency. And after you've been deposed, and after you've sat in court and been to court a number of times, and after there's a trial, you might collect a pretty handsome amount of damages. Of course, that's going to be 2 or 3 years down the line. But I'm helpless, Mr. Witness, in a criminal case to remedy. I think that's all just First Amendment stuff. No, that's not intimidation of witness. I'm not sure what I do, Your Honor, but I'm going to ask you also to set a condition that there is to be no defamation of any of these witnesses. Finally, I'm going to ask you to set some bail in this case.
So he asked that there be no defamation of these witnesses. And I think I wrote down in my notes here, who gets to decide what defamation is? Like that cannot be a condition of bail, that you can't defame them, because defamation is something that has to be proven in court. You don't just get to say, well, that's defamation, so you can't say it anymore. Defamation has to be proven. And his whole argument that he just made there was that it will take 3 years to sue him for defamation, and we want to shut him up now. So like, that's literally what he just said, is like, they could sue him, but it's going to take too long. And I know it's like a civil remedy, defamation. It belongs in civil court, not criminal, but that'll take too long. And we want something now. We want him to be arrested now. We want to silence him now, not 3 years from now. We want him silenced now. This was outrageous that he asked for this. It was denied, to be clear. If you look at the scoreboard about what they wanted today, he asked for stay away orders. We accepted. We said, no problem. Done. I don't want to see any of these motherfuckers either. Done. I had my last supper at 𝗃𝗏 I'm good. He asked for the no defamation. Denied. He asked for $10,000 cash bail. Denied. He asked for a couple of things. Denied. Everything he wanted was denied.
I was not involved in the case. I understand a request for bail was made originally, and for some technical reason, it was not allowed. And I acknowledge that Mr. Kearney, since he has been indicted, has been faithful about showing up to court. I have no reason to think that he will not show up to court in the future.
Exactly.
I think he regards it as another opportunity to put on the Aidan Kearney show outside.
Again, they're so mad about this. They're so mad about the fact that I go outside and I give my courthouse step speeches and I put on a show and I take pictures with everyone and I make fucking cash money doing it. It's like I build the brand, right? He's mad about that. He's so mad about this because it's not the way it's supposed to go when you arrest someone. No, they're not supposed to do. They're not supposed to have supporters outside. They're not supposed to get content out of it. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, bro, I didn't make the Turtleboy court show. I didn't do that. I didn't make the Aidan Kearney show. Y'all did. You guys did this. I said this the day that they arrested me. Did these idiots have any fucking clue what they just did for me professionally? Because I'm going to beat this, obviously. And in the meantime, y'all just made me the fucking center of this story. Like, now they have to talk about me. I did not make the Aidan Kearney court show. You guys did. I didn't ask to be arrested. I didn't ask to be here. I would be far less known and far less popular if you didn't arrest me. You guys did this, 𝗁𝗂𝗄𝗎. You did this, and you're helping do it because you're making a fucking fool of yourself right now. And the things that you're asking for are so ridiculous and so absurd that more content creators are going to see it and they're going to put it out there and you're going to look like a fucking idiot. I am America's favorite felon. Do you understand that? You did that to me. You made this. You made this monster. You did it. So good job, dipshit. Good job.
But I do know that he's facing charges that carry substantial penalties that are felonies, and that if a jury should see it my way after trial, I put the defense in the court on notice that I see his conduct since these indictments have been brought as aggravating circumstances, and I will certainly take that into consideration if I ever have the opportunity to make a sentencing recommendation.
He actually said that. I'm going to say this. If I ever have a chance to make a sentencing recommendation, I'm going to say what a bad person. Bitch, you ain't going to never have that chance. You ain't never going to have that chance. The chance that you're even alive when this goes to trial is slim to none with those lesions all over your face. Put on some lotion. Get the fuck. Can you do something with the hair too? I mean, You got to pull a Tully. You got to shave it, bro. What are you hanging on to some scraps, as Elaine Bennett said? What are we doing there? Oh my God, you are a poop fossil. That's what you are, a poop fossil. I mean, if we're, oh, come on. We all dream out. Like, we can all dream. We can all
I
dream.
would suggest what would be a nominal bail, 10,000 surety, 1,000 cash.
10 grand. Oh, yeah.
But pray your honor's judgment in that respect.
Okay.
If I could say just one final thing.
Go right ahead. You go right ahead.
I think I'll think better of it, Your Honor. Mr. Bradel can bring to the court's attention what I was about to tell him if he wishes, and I will not get into discussions with counsel.
Okay. Mr. Bradel. Thank you very much, Your Honor. So, Judge, just a procedural objection. There's no paperwork before the court. There's nothing supported by affidavit. I'm just hearing counsel's recommendations right now. So I'm responding to this on Mr. Kearney's behalf, basically off the top of our collective heads here. So that's kind of where we're at, and I would just object procedurally. Nonetheless, we have, a lot we want to say. It's hard to sit here and listen to the Commonwealth with scorn, say that he wants to put on the Aidan Kearney show. Well, yeah, you're darn right he wants to put on the Aidan Kearney show. It's his First Amendment rights to do so. And the Commonwealth, for a year and a half now, has made every possible effort based on their own self-interest. The particular prosecutors, the particular state police detective unit, present prosecutor accepted, to suppress a viewpoint that's been raised against those very same people. So that's what we have here at the outset, Your Honor. As far as this particular motion goes, how far are we going to let the Commonwealth surf this wave? You saw the video. The case at bar, Your Honor, had no stay-away order from Judge Krupp, had zero bail, nothing, not even the stay-away orders, Your Honor. Mr. Kearney was not in violation of anything whatsoever when he did what he did. And in terms of the government, again, out of their own self-interest to suppress his critical viewpoint of them, the government wants to try to tell the court that this is witness intimidation. And as we comprehensively argued in brief just yesterday, this is not witness intimidation. And the purpose of bail, Your Honor, is not to punish. Under Section 57 of the bail statute that governs Superior Court in Commonwealth versus Brangen, there is no allowance for punishment. Nonetheless, Your Honor, Mr. Kearney has agreed under Section 87 to stay away. And he's agreeing to stay away from the pizza shop, agreeing to stay away from Mr. Albert. But I should say, Judge, again, this goes to how far are they going to surf this wave? Chris Albert and Colin Albert, Your Honor, are no shrinking violets. They're on camera threatening Mr. Kearney, threatening to kick his ass up and down the street in 2 seconds, calling him a pussy. These people are not shrinking violets. They're only shrinking violets when they see an avenue to strike out at Mr. Kearney. And now, was it unwise what he did? Yeah, you wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it. Nonetheless, what do you do about it? You don't punish someone. You can't punish them for it. Look at his track record. He's not a flight risk. He has no record whatsoever. He comes exactly when he's called, anytime he's called to answer for this case, and he always will. And he's got.
And yeah, when he said it's unwise, you wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't. He had to say that. You know what I mean? It's like boys will be boys, Your Honor. Like that's what he was arguing. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, he's here right now. He's in the defendant's seat. I think if you go back in time and not do it, he probably wouldn't do it. But not because he did anything wrong, just because he doesn't want to deal with this bullshit. That's all that means. But I love how he got to throw in there the C.F. McCarthy's incident about, Colin called me a pussy. He's like, come over here, put your phone down, get over here. You guys saw that video. Give me a break. You really want to do that? Okay.
Got kids in Worcester, and he lives in Worcester and Southie, and he's not going to have any sort of flight risk issue. Nonetheless, under Section 87, Your Honor, we would agree, preserving any procedural objections, we would agree under Section 87, Your Honor, to stay away orders from the witnesses, stay away orders in this case and in the 24 matter as well. However, there's one thing that we're very concerned about, Your Honor, is that there's been a history of these witnesses using these types of orders to flush Mr. Kearney out of court.
Yeah,
and
big victim.
We ask that you look at, in terms of an agreement, Your Honor, under 87, we would propose that the court adopt Judge Pomerol's order across the street, which was stay away, but not with respect to courthouses, so Mr. Kearney can do his job, and so they can't abuse any court orders to flush him out of court to stop him from covering these cases. So I would ask that you by agreement, again, allow him to stay 100 feet away from these people. And in terms of courthouses, he was allowed to be in any courthouse of the Commonwealth plus 300 feet curtilage. So he can come and go without accusations, such as we are actually dealing with in another case, Your Honor. But that is essentially Judge Pomerol's order, and we would be agreeable to that under Section 87. So say that again. Give me Judge Pomerol's order again. Sure. The gist of it, I'm not saying it's 100% accurate. The gist of it is that Mr. Kearney can go to any Commonwealth courthouse without worrying about the stay-away order, and within 300-foot curtilage, so he can come and go without these accusations that he's violating some order. And that's essentially what Judge Pomerol did, and we are agreeable to that here under Section 87 in light of what's transpired, and reserving the rights, of course, to address this as these allegations as having nothing to do with witness intimidation. There's no threat. There's no fighting words. He's talking into a window at 10:30 at night. And
he's talking to a window.
You might not do it. I might not do it.
I know.
Unwise, sure.
He's talking to a window.
What do you do with it? You can't surf this wave for miles and miles. It's ridiculous. And he's acknowledged it. He's agreeing to it. I ask that you would adopt our suggestion, Judge, and let it be. Thank you.
Okay. So Thank you both for your presentations. I'll note a few things for the record. I watched the video. Unlike some of the things that we talked about yesterday that were in the enumerated allegations of the indictments on the 2023 case, there wasn't any camera that was being used by Mr. Kearney. There was no content creation. I still do have to look at it, I suppose.
There was no content creation. That's exactly it. Yeah, I'm not making any content. I didn't even know I was being audio recorded, period.
First Amendment, and balance that with what Mr. 𝗃𝗄𝗆 has said about the witness intimidation in the case. I also note that Mr. Kearney has 2 cases that are pending before this court and one that's pending across the street, as Mr. 𝗵𝗿𝗄𝗆 referenced, in the district court. And it may result in a 4th case for his actions the other night. I don't in any way, I've taken a look at his record, which doesn't have much of a record. I also take into account that he has been to court on every single occasion. He's always here with counsel, and my view of him, he's always behaved according to the way that one is supposed to behave in court. So I certainly respect the Commonwealth's recommendation in the case. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a further order on this case that he's to stay away from all of the witnesses who are enumerated in the counts of the 2023 case, and also for the witness who is enumerated in the count of the 2024 case. He's to stay away from those witnesses. He's also to stay 100 yards away from 𝗵𝗵𝗄𝗃 Pizza. And he, I think that what Judge Palmer has ruled upon about his coming into the courthouse, he comes into the courthouse as a journalist. But I'm going to suggest that when he comes into this courthouse, that he behaves according to the sentiments that have been expressed here. And my order to him is that he's to behave in an appropriate manner and not to in any way try to intimidate or harass any witness. And that would also extend to 300 feet around the courthourse so that he can get in.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Done.
So that's my order on the case.
Done.
Judge, may I ask, in terms of the stay away order, and I think this is typical, are you accepting defense team investigators, et cetera, if we need to talk to witnesses?
Absolutely. The defense team can reach out to witnesses if they want. That's what defense attorneys have to do to defend their clients. So you can have an investigator, or yourself, Mr. 𝗵𝗿𝗄𝗆, or learned counsel, Mr. 𝗵𝗿𝗆, as well. But I don't want anybody else to be reaching out to witnesses.
I understand.
I also have a question.
Go right ahead, Mr. President.
I don't need to press your honor too hard on this. But I noticed as you announced your decision, you indicated 100-yard stay-away zone.
From the 𝗵𝗵𝗄𝗃 Pizza,
which I appreciate. I think it would be very advisable to extend the same order with respect to the homes of the witnesses in these cases.
Not a problem.
Let me talk to Mr. 𝗵𝗿𝗆 about that.
Can I have one more?
Yeah, why don't you talk to?
We were like, we huddled. We're like, you plan on going to our home? Nope. Sure. Go ahead. Not a problem. Not going to Jennifer McCabe's home anytime soon. Proctor's home. I'm good. I'm all set. Done.
Judge, we'll agree to that under section 87. Yes,
that's fine. Okay, so it would be the same thing, 100 yards away from the homes of the witnesses in the case.
We're fair. You know what I mean?
Why don't you give me a next date that works for all counsel on the case? We still have the matter from yesterday under advisement.
Judge, we have just reminding everyone that you mentioned that 10 days we want to address or file pleadings relative to the journalist issue and the teen. Should we pick a date, maybe 20 days out, 30 days out?
I'd say probably sometime at the end of April.
End of April.
Yeah.
What, April 23rd?
I'm not a good week, Madam Clerk. Can we go to next week?
That's fine.
April 1st, or I'm sorry, April 30th.
That works for us.
All right.
Unfortunately, I'm neglected to bring my calendar with me, so why don't we say April 30th, and if there's a problem, I'll consult with Mr. 𝗵𝗿𝗆 and get back
That's
to the
fine.
court.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kearney, your conditions of release are amended as you are ordered to stay away, have no contact, direct or indirect, from all the witnesses in your 2023 and your 2024 cases. You're also ordered to stay 100 yards from 𝗵𝗵𝗄𝗃 Pizza and the residences of all the victims, the witnesses in these cases. And you are ordered to behave in an appropriate manner while in the courthouse and 300 yards of the courthouse.
Howie's like the I don't know what appropriate means. Because we realized that probably should have been adjudicated further in the court. Like, what does appropriate mean? And I'm like, I'll keep my pants on. I don't know. Like, but I always behave appropriately when I'm at the press. Come on, you'll never see me. I was in the same. I've never spoken to one of these witnesses while in my role as media. You never done that. Never done that during the trial. Haven't done that. I mean, I gave Carl a walk. I walked Carl to his car a couple times. So that's about it. That's about it. So anyway, good day, whatever, I see people kind of disappointed in you. Yeah. Well, you know what? Nobody's more disappointed in me than me. It is what it is. And I think Nan and Will and Meredith, they all feel the same way. It gets unanimous. We're all just like, damn it. I wish, you know what I mean? It's that somebody pulled the plug on this and been like, because it's like, they're just going to fucking, it's stupid. We don't need this. It's not going to go anywhere, but it's like, you know, whatever. Like, I see the trolls have shared some of the video, and again, we were miming. There's no audio. The trolls have, let's see. A Fun Time has it over here. I don't know what this is. Again, we were doing a selfie. We did a selfie, I guess, in front of D&E. All right, and then there was this. Cash Money. We're miming. We're miming. There's no sound. There's no audio. And then it's just miming. We're miming. Those aren't even my hands. This is so stupid. I mean, really? This is what we're doing right now? We're miming. Give me a break. All right. That's it. That's it. That's a crime. Okay, sure. Anyway, let's do some turtle chats. Let me just get a drink real quick. I need a drink of water. Hold on one sec. Be right back. All right, let's read some turtle chats, folks. Kelly sends $10, goes, how old is the prosecutor? Bless his heart. He needs to retire. He is retired. He's a retired judge. His name is Triple Dip 𝗵𝗂𝗺𝗃. He's got, sorry, getting an itch. He's collecting 2 pensions, and now he's getting his triple dip in with the whatever stipend he's getting for this ship. Paulie O'Queef sends $10 and goes, just waxing the shell for them jokes in your opening tonight. Rich Schiffer's giddy grin and nod gets funnier each time. I know. It's funny seeing him on camera there. Morrissey and Rafferty are going down. I can feel it in my bones. At this point, it's essentially undeniable that this is a clusterfuck of corruption. I think the feds are investigating the court now and waiting to build their case, then reopen it after this all plays out. Or am I being dumb? I mean, you never know. You never know. So thank you. Nick sends $50 and goes, Cosgrove basically was admitting that the charges were weak as fuck. I know. It was really refreshing to rewatch that because I feel even more confident now that, like, wow, they're not even confident in this, are they? They're not even confident in it. I thought that was fucking hilarious. He's like, yeah, that one was kind of a stretch. Like, what prosecutor admits to that? I know. Like, I still can't believe he said that. He's like, yeah, that was a little much. Yeah, that was probably not the strongest argument. That I wouldn't have brought that indictment. It was all Mello. I don't know what Mello was thinking. I don't know what he was thinking. That alone should result in a dismissal. The new charge, I think, is intended to lock you up during trial. These people are sick. Much love from Florida. Yeah, for sure. I mean, they always want to lock me up, you know. Nick sends $50 and goes, Cosgrove basically was admitting. No, I already read that one. That's the one I just read. Okay, thank you. Next one. Aaron sends $25, goes, Charlestown rules. All right. Erica Walsh agrees. Lena sends $5 and says, just watch the video and it's fucking brilliant. You can see it's innocent and you are having a laugh and a good time. I think you're hilarious. Grab ass turtle. Again, if for them to show this video and be like, oh my God, look at that. It's like, bro, nobody's going to watch this and be like, wow, those guys are bad. Bad. Cuck Chrissy Albert sends $10, goes, thank you for not licking the window. All right. Noel sends $5 and goes, late on the live. Just wanted to say, when I heard it was Officer Tully making the police report of the window talk, I'm thinking of fucking course. I also loved how he said Cullen. Yeah. Evie sends $5, goes, since you are a witness, it appears they are intimidating you. I know. I'm saying. Vicky sends $100. Woo. Thanks, Vicky. And says,
For your defense from a boomer, even though you use the word as an insult. No, it's just a joke. I make jokes, Vicky. I love you. The corruption in Canton is mind-boggling. I'm a fan of your writing. Please keep it up. Free Turtleboy, free Karen Reed. Well, thank you very much. The corruption killer sends $25 because I think everyone needs to leave. Again, I don't agree to this. Everyone needs to leave a review. This person is saying on D&E Pizza, on Yelp and Google. So just to be clear, I am not recommending that. I am not endorsing that message, but I'm just reading the messages that I get. Okay. Because I got to do it. He paid for that. So I got to read it. But I do not endorse just because the turtle chats come in and someone else says it doesn't mean I'm endorsing it. See what I'm saying? So just to be clear, thank you. Rosaline sends $20 and goes, Dear obvious journalist and satirist, question. What would happen if you were a defense witness for Karen Reed? You could have accused the pizza gang of witness intimidation when they threatened and assaulted you. How would the Commonwealth handle witness intimidation charges when both parties are witnesses? Hashtag meal of food. P.S. I blame the glare. He's cool, very charming, but obviously a bad influence. I wouldn't say that. It's not the glare's fault. Stop it. You know what I mean? It's like, first of all, it's nobody's fault. Nobody committed any crime. It's fucking ridiculous. Ridiculous. We're talking about miming here. Give me a break. Give me a break. But what was your question again? It was what would happen if you were a defense witness for Karen Reed? Well, I wouldn't be. They would never put me as a defense. What would I be a witness to? I'm not a witness in this. And there's no way Spanky's going to call me as a witness. That's out of the question. Out of the question. He ain't called me as, like, there's nothing for me to say. Like, as much as they would like to tie me to the Karen Reed case, they can't. I'm just a guy I'm a journalist who had communications with Karen Reed. They found out by stealing our phones and going through them. That's what they found out. That's the extent of it. Nothing about what we actually said, just the fact that we did in fact communicate. That's it. So there's that. KG sends $25 and goes, FYI, your junk looked good in those pants you had on in court yesterday. God damn. Okay. I swear to God, that's a real turtle chat. I didn't make that one up. KG said my junk looked good in those pants at court. I appreciate the compliment. But people are going to think I'm making that up. I'll show you. I'll show you right now. This is not, just to be clear, because people are going to be like, you're making that up. You're complimenting your dick. Stop it. Stop. $25. It says it right there. I just read the turtle chats as they came in. That's what KG said. Okay. So thank you, KG. You paid $25. I did not send that myself. I'm fucking sitting right here. How can I do that? Anyway. So next up. I'm not sending myself turtle chats. God damn it. I'm sitting right here. How can I do that? Okay. Next up. Jack sends $10, goes, hey, Aidan, I heard they pat you down to your ankles for security at the courthouse. Cosgrove's balls call that second base. No. Okay. I guess so. Yeah. Thank you, Jack. David sends $10 and goes, please read to the class, you dumbass. At this point, your relationship with Marlon, give her a spare key to your car. Okay. My belief was that the McAlberts dragged John into the yard to blame Lucky, but Karen became the convenient sucker. I think a lot of people think that. Thank you. Lori sends $5, goes, Daddy, speaking of a man that wears two hats, great example, Kevin Hart. He's an actor and has his comedian tours worldwide. Correct. Thank you, Lori. Rebecca sends $5 and goes, all these fuckers are corrupt. And the bias just keeps showing, like TDY, like today, when that bitch Bev rules to allow the dog guy for the Commonwealth, but put Dr. Russell, who is a doctor, through 2 days of hearings to be able to testify. The lawyer, is even furious over this shit. Praying for you on your trial as well. Yet, and she doesn't even explain it.
in her ruling. We'll get to that tomorrow on Sex Cult, and on the show Saturday, but she doesn't even explain it. That's the most outrageous part about that. You know what I mean? So, it's mind boggling. Crystal sends $5 and goes, fact. Once a dog bites, they are more likely to bite again. Dog behaviorists can be cross-examined on this, explaining the subsequent attacks by Chloe leading to her surrender after John O'Keefe was killed. Yeah, you know what, though? It's like, that's a good point. If this guy's a behaviorist, he's going to know that. So this dog, animal control records show that he's bitten a couple people before and after John. So isn't that consistent with the dog's behavior, biting people? Yeah, okay, cool. Thanks. $10 from Diane, who says, Jill Daniels cried about Turtleboy making her sad in Falmouth and made it in a police report. Leave Meredith alone. That's a good point. Jill Daniels was crying in a bar too in Falmouth, and I wasn't even there. So there's that. Jenna sends $10 and goes, do you think Hank is trying to include you in the KR trial so he can exclude you from the courtroom during the trial? Of course. That's exactly what he's trying to do. Sorry if you already covered this. I'm late to class. I don't know what Spanky's got up his sleeves or what shenanigans he's trying to pull, but he's struck out on everything he's done so far. I mean, if he gets my phone, which I don't see why Beverly Canoni won't do that, it's like, go ahead, knock your fucking self out. But go ahead. Like I said, Spanky, you just read that turtle chat. Okay. I just was complimented on that. It gets much worse. Everything. You're going to have nightmares. Your wife's going to have good dreams, but you, sir, are going to have nightmares. So I wouldn't recommend it. Next up, Laura sends $25, goes, I apologize. I probably missed this. What were John's vitals in the ambulance? What was his body temperature? Wasn't his body temperature like 80 something degrees? It should have been much lower than that. And I hope they bring that up this time around. Next up, Sandra sends $25. Says, do you think Ronnie and the other not guilty people were told that all defense witnesses and evidence are distractions? Yeah, by the other jurors. So thank you very much. Oh, Nan Gallagher comes through. Nan Gallagher. Beep, 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 beep. $500. Nan Gallagher is very successful, in case you can't tell, and passionate about justice. And she's like happy to do this. So let's see what her message says. She says, it was a pleasure to meet you the other night. Now, the pleasure was all mine, Nan. You are a wonderful person and an exceptional satirist. Keep showing the fuck up. Oh, she's the best, isn't she? I love Nan. She's just the best. And that's not just because of the $500. That's very nice too. But it's her warm personality. And she's just a cool person. I can't say enough about Nan Gallagher. So thank you, Nan. Paul O'Griff's crotch shot sends $5 and says, are you allowed to show the video in court of Chris Albert threatening to beat you? Of course. Also, did you see the hired gun Peg had with her in court? I didn't see that. Hired gun. P.S. There is so much truth behind your voice, and you're giving all of us a voice. The Commonwealth didn't mention anyone, so now the people have to do it. It's your right. Well, thank you. Matt sends $13, goes, hey, Turtleboy, you have my full support. It's crazy that the Commonwealth hit you with all these bullshit charges. In reality, they are the ones doing the harassment. Upside down world. Stay safe and be calm. We support you. Well, thank you, Matt. Michael sends $100. Woo, good night for Turtleboy. I'll tell you that much. I've been again. I need it. It's like any moment I could need 10 grand bail. Been watching it all. The moment I first heard they did not search the house that night, I knew something was up. The rest is history. Keep up the good work. You crack me up. All my support to you and Karen Reed from sunny Southern Cali. Onward. Well, thank you very much, Michael. Katie sends $5, goes, my mom was watching the news tonight and your Deanie window video appeared on the news and she started laughing nonstop. So at least it was entertaining for some. Free Karen Reed, free Turtleboy. I mean, who's going to watch that? Like this guy's. All right. Jessica sends $5, goes, the next jury has to be street smart people. Get bartenders, hairstylists, waitresses in there. Exactly. Not sit at home, trust the police people. Bingo. You got it. Colleen gives $10 and has no comment. Thank you. Shrinking Violet sends $25 and goes, I feel a dismissal. I'm feeling it too. Shrinking Violet, I'm feeling it too. Sheila sends $10, goes, did you see what dropped after dog bit guy? All uncivil law read federal court papers, 54 plus pages. I have no idea what that means. But so thank you, Sheila. $5 from Annette. It says, watching from Australia. Keep up the good fight. Free Karen Reed and free Turtleboy. Thank you, Annette. Kathleen sends $25 and goes, the Commonwealth and Bias Bess is double dipping. Bias Bev are doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on their corruption, trying to save all their asses at all costs. Spanky just keeps throwing shit to see what will stick to the wall. Evidence tampering is so apparent, but the mainstream media doesn't report that. Thank you, Turtleboy, for all you do. Hashtag free can't read. Hashtag free Turtleboy. Thank you. Twisted Tragedies, Timu Eyelashes sends $10 and goes, please visit attorneycosgrove.com to donate to Dr. Turtleboy's legal defense fund. Okay, I need to see this right now. I'm going to actually Google that and see. Did you guys buy that domain? Did you really do that? Cosgrove is going to hate that. He is not going to find that funny at all. Oh my fucking God. You guys did it. It's my gift, Senko. Attorneycosgrove.com brings you to. You guys are the best. Oh, you're funny shit. Thank you. He's going to be so mad about that. Thank you. Eddie Richards sends $10 and goes, I gave you a honk in my bucket truck while you and Bradle were on the stairs post-hearing. Free Turtleboy and Karen Reed. P.S. Sean, where you at, partner? Yeah, whatever happened to Sean? I guess he's, is he still doing this? I mean, Sean was the one that always said, I'm not paying attention to the case in district court. That one doesn't count. Everything important happens at Uncle Joe's house. Well, I mean, Mike, I guess everything's just a lie. I don't know. It's like, I don't think I'm still waiting on Uncle Joe's house, you know. Next up, we have here. What do we have? Paul, no. John sends $25. Goes, I always wondered what type of doctor Turtleboy is. Mystery solved. A gastroenterologist, saving the world one colon at a time. Thank you. Yes. Leslie sends $5 and says, I don't think she's guilty, but I do think it's rigged. Okay. Thank you. Courtney sends $10, goes, I think Bev would acquit her too. She has no backbone and the law would be completely on her side and the prosecution wouldn't be on the hook. Exactly, Courtney. I'm saying, I think she would acquit. I know we're in a minority here, but I do think that. Nicole sends $5, but you can't take that chance. I agree. You still have to go jury because you got a better shot with a jury. It's just like, that's playing with fire. That's like a ballsy move on Karen Reed's part. You know what I mean? Nicole sends $5 and goes, Kerry True Crime just posted Bettero watching the video today in court. It's hilarious. Free our cult daddy. Bettero watching the video. He didn't watch the video in court, did he? Oh my God. And Julie, oh my God. Julie Carpenter is sharing the still photos from that night. Like, oh God, there's grab assing. There's some grab assing. Oh, that's the definition of grab assing. It's just like, this is like that. This is witness intimidation. Are you fucking kidding me? Stop it. Stop it. Okay. They're so mad. They act so mad. They're like so serious. Like they spend all day being just so mad. Oh, I'm so mad about this. And this poor guy, that motherfucker is the saddest. That guy is the most depressed person on the planet. I will guarantee you that. That guy hates his fucking life and like whatever. He's just like, whatever. I'm just going to fuck her a couple, like whatever. Just let her drink all the wine and never work and I'll earn all the money and whatever. She just sits there, just Big Red and whatever. I bet you Big Red she has to give good oral. She has to, or because you better. I mean, for what you do all day and what you put this poor guy fucking through, you better. I'm saying You don't make any money, obviously, nothing. You better give a fucking heck of a Hummer, dear. I'm saying, just saying. Clip that one there, Big Red. Next one. Let's see. Oh, yeah. 𝗫𝗄𝗄𝗺 True Crime. Let's see. I was told to check her Twitter out. Let's see. I guess it's all out there now. So I guess you're all going to see it now. So I guess what's the harm at this point? But, you know, what the fuck? There it is. Is this all of it? All of what? The security footage. Yeah. Imagine her getting in a fight with an empty pizza shop. What's this? This part had me screaming, come to my window.
Inside, wait by the come to my window. Come inside, wait by the light of the moon. Come to my window. Come inside.
Okay, it's not funny. It's not. It's a serious matter. Who made that? Who made that? Save the best for last. Hold on. What's this one? She's made some clips of it. 𝗫𝗄𝗄𝗺 True Crime.
I give a damn about my reputation. Living in the past, new generation. Don't do what you want to do, and that's what I'm gonna do. And I don't give a damn about my bad reputation. Oh no, 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 no.
Oh, you guys are too funny. Maybe one day I'll act my age and not my shoe size. But until then.
Now I'm sitting drunk in stupor. I did what I should have never done. Now I'm sitting here talking to you, drunk and on the run. I'm sitting at a bar on the inside.
I mean, this is wild. Turtleboy attorney caught on camera reacting to the video played in court. Did he really? No, this is not actually him reacting to it. That's not really him reacting to the video. All done. How many? This was on the fucking news. Oh my God. You signed the dotted line the moment you became a murder accomplice and willing to. Exactly. Like, oh, we didn't sign up for this. We just wanted to lie and get it over with. And, you know, oh, I did not notice that. I did not notice that. Me whenever cause
4:30. 4:30.
Oh, 4:30. Okay. Time did you say we were eating at 4:30?
4:30.
Oh, 4:30. Okay.
Too soon.
Remember what you're staring at is me, 'cause I'm looking at you through the glass. Don't know how much time has passed.
Oh, you guys are gonna have too much fun with that.
Police officer in this report. I thought he was not a part of this whole situation anymore. Was that surprising that he was the officer listed?
Yeah, well, it's not surprising. Is it appropriate? I don't think so. The state police have a policy that every target of an investigation is entitled to a fair and unbiased investigation. I don't know how these very same state troopers who are.
Do you guys like the suit today? I love the green tie. I love the green tie. I wear it whenever I can.
Give him a fair and unbiased investigation on anything, and why they continually crop up is unfortunate. It's not gonna be.
They were so mad that he called him like a little like, oh my God, Like, okay, can we go back to Fun Time Julie Carpenter's? I love watching Julie Carpenter get mad. Like, it's too funny. My meal of food break has come to an end. I just didn't have to go back. It was Colin.
Who is Colin? I'm so lost.
Hey.
Like semi.
And Colin came home.
Who's Colin?
Didn't make it home until at least 12:45, Chris. It was Colin, Chris.
Who is Colin? I'm so lost. Like semicolon? Like I don't understand. What's going on?
I don't know either. I don't know it either. Oh, yep, Peter Berger. R.I.P. Peter Berger. I mean, this is some good clips on this chick's page. But she had some. I want to see. There was another video that Fun Time Julie Carp. She gets so mad. I love this new Elon function too. Okay. This is the one. This is, they get so mad that Tim Bradle said this. He talked about the McAlberts. Watch this. They're so mad about this.
These state statutes that talk about emotional harm and, emotional distress. You know what? Tough shit.
Tough shit.
And, these state statutes that talk about emotional harm and, emotional distress. You know what? Tough shit.
Exactly. Tough shit. It's true. It's just like tough shit. Like if you're I'm experiencing emotional harm. Tough shit. Welcome to grown-up world, where occasionally you experience something called emotional harm. Like life is not always like pleasant and easy and fun. Like sometimes you cry and sometimes you get upset and sometimes you're angry and then sometimes you're happy and then other times you have emotional harm. Like none of this is just because you're elite, you're deemed a witness in something doesn't mean that you can no longer ever have your fucking feelings hurt. But they're just so mad about it. Oh my God. He said tough shit. The victims. Aidan doesn't have any victims. Aidan doesn't have victims. Nothing. I don't victimize anyone. These statements need to go to the BBO and the special prosecutor. Like these people, this is what they do this is how empty their lives are. They sit there in Indiana and they're like, we need to send this to the BBO. He said tough shit. Yeah, give it a shot. Give it a shot. He called them the McAlberts and falsely claimed they control the Commonwealth.
Bradle, the Commonwealth was suggesting putting parameters on Aidan that dealt with defamation, like actually restricting what he could say. Yeah. You had an incredulous look on your face when the Commonwealth said that. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I've never heard that one before. I think that's sounded to me like a product of the McAlberts wanting to operate the Commonwealth by remote control and get statements they don't like off their back. But who knows? But I think that was totally beyond the pale, and that's something.
I love how this guy's worth every dollar just because of how upset he makes Julie Carpenter. Like that, if you're not making this woman upset, she's not really upset. It's like fake upset. But if you're not making this like Big Red upset, then you're not doing your job. Like, because it's like in Carrie Lama, if she's not offended, like if you offend the worst people on the internet, you should get an award. That's why I'm an award-winning journalist, because I upset people like that. So anyway, come to my window. Oh, the fucking I can't believe that's we're like, yo, I'm like rapping. Like, what the fuck is that? That's witness. They're really gonna present that in court and be like, Your Honor, witness intimidation. You have to be fucking kidding me. Anyway, yeah. All right, cool. Let me just recheck. Oh, wait, did I finish? Julie sent $5 and goes, this is not a donation, doctor. How did you not burst out laughing in court when he kept saying colon? Oh, it was close. I came close. Thank you. Suzanne sends $50. Thank you, Suzanne. And goes, Cosgrove told Judge Daddy that you telling the McAlberts to tell the truth is telling them to change their testimony. Why is he encouraging perjury? Don't read out loud. Got your back, kiddo. Thank you, Suzanne. If you write don't read aloud at the end, it's going to be too late. Lawyer, you know, this is Courtney, sends $10 and goes, lawyer, you know, came out today and said Auntie Bev is 100% biased, and he officially called her an obviously biased judge, which is really huge for that guy. That says a lot that it's that guy finally. I mean, Peter's a nice guy, real nice guy. He's not the type to call judges biased. It's just not his thing. But if he's saying it, it must be, you got a real problem, you know? Breenan's colon sends $25, goes, not only repping the men, but also the gays. Fuck Bev, fuck Tully, free Turtleboy. Well, thank you, Breenan's colon. I appreciate that. Jody sends $100. Damn. And says, no begging needed. Take my money. I'm pissed I couldn't be there yesterday or today. Thank you for your award-winning journalism, because America, free speech is our right, and the corrupt and go fuck themselves. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Noon's a tough time, you know? But I appreciate that, Jody. And again, I will take any support I can get in person, but just knowing that there's an army of people out there in the real world who are just have my back like that and got me. It's fucking 12:30 at night and 5,200 people are watching. God bless you all. Okay. Just got to get through these. Under Bev's Road sends $25, goes, there was a story about an officer, Brian Wanless, who also owns a body shop in Canton, that Proctor was alleged to have asked him to remove the taillight because they were struggling to get it off the Lexus. Haven't heard about being talked about, so maybe bogus. So yes, that the whole Wanless was paid by Proctor got Wanless to take the taillight. I can officially say now that was a completely made up bullshit story by Sean of the Gulf. Like that was 1,000. The whole Wanless thing, that was entirely made up. And I couldn't, again, it was a while that I didn't want to crush the thing that Sean on the Gulf is completely senile. But now that everybody kind of knows that, I can tell you that was a Sean of the Gulf story, that Wanless did the taillight. That was a complete lie that he made up. That's it. He did not. There was no Brian Wanless. The taillight happened in the fucking garage. The ghost man did it. The ghost man. That's the guy. Whoever the ghost man is. Okay. Next. Ryan sends $5. Goes, I cannot wait for the debut of Erica Walsh's YouTube show. Her facial reactions behind Cosgrove yesterday was the best part of the hearing. Yeah, who doesn't have a YouTube show these days? But yeah, her facial reactions are great with her free Turtleboy shirt one day and I am Turtleboy the next. Erica's been riding the turtle long before Karen Reed came along, so she's old school. Thank you. And she's great. Okay, Auntie Bev's Cape House shower mat sends $10. Goes, if Blue Man Group wanted to do a street themed skit outside of the post office, Julie Nagel could be the human mailbox. What? Okay. John Monagle sends $10. Goes, with the new stay away orders, do you have to avoid all punctuation or just colons? And now that Dr. Crosby is in, will Bev allow the meteorologist to testify about dog bites also? Because why not? I know that guy's definitely going to be able to talk about the ground. Have you ever, Alessi said this the other day. It's like, have you ever turned on the TV and listened to the meteorologist and be like, it's going to be 35. Tomorrow's going to be 20 degrees and a little bit of precipitation, and the ground is going to be harder than a rock. What? Okay. Next. Becky sends $10. Goes, if Spanky gets your text, does that mean you'd have to get on the stand at Karen's trial? No, I mean, no, because there's no messages between me and Karen. They're all on Signal. I've got my whole extraction. It comes up encrypted. You can't read anything. And that's it. That's it. Noah sends $5 and goes, free Karen Reed from Connecticut. Absolutely. Gray Space sends $5. Goes, Robert Cosgrove sounds like a Muppet. He kind of does. He kind of does sound like a Muppet. JNA sends $10. Goes, this message is for Meredith. We've all been there. Please don't feel embarrassed. We know the stress you're both under, and I'm sorry about your family. We all appreciate everything you do for Aidan, and you are loved. Well, thank you, Jen. I'm sure she appreciates that. Nicole sends $10. Goes, hey, Dr. Daddy, despite all the nonsense with these new charges, it seems like the judge was the fair one and is leaning towards dismissing the charges. I hope so. I'm praying it all works. You know, this is, boy, if you say a prayer for me in the week at church this weekend, people, like, this would be the biggest, like, thing off my back, having this gone, man. I hate being on bail. Like, it feels like I'm on thin ice all the time. You know what I mean? I don't want to be on bail anymore. I've been doing this too long. I just want these charges to go away. I don't want to deal with the trial. If we have to, I will, but I'd rather it would be the biggest win. So prayers up for Turtleboy, and pray for Judge Doolin that he'll have the wisdom to see through this bullshit for the farce it is, and take a bold move and dismiss these charges. Nikki sent, no, I read that one already. Steve sends $25, goes, Turtle, we know they're shitting themselves. So up in the fight against you and Karen. Oh, you're both innocent and powerful people. I think I might have read that one already, but just in case I didn't, thank you, Steve. Okay. So let me refresh these to make sure I didn't miss anyone. Got a few more here to bang through. Don't mind me. Amy sends $5 and says, I love you. They need to get a clue. Well, thank you, Amy. I agree. Christy sends $15, goes, go play in traffic, Chris Albert, you cunt. Please be on your best behavior. I don't want anything bad to happen to you. I will be, I promise. And I am not telling anyone to go play in any sort of traffic. That's just what Christy said. Lem sends $10, goes, proud of you, Unc. Did you know that Canton versus Milton hockey game tonight held down the Cape the other night? The Milton kids showed up with free Karen Reed signs, priceless. Did they really? Oh, that would be great if every time Canton plays a high school game somewhere, people just show up in free Karen Reed stuff, because plenty of people in Canton believe in free Karen Reed. Plenty of people, the majority, I would say. I mean, we did vote to audit the police department. Let's not forget that. Thank you. Erica sends $25, goes, thoughts on Morrissey's martini meeting with person in camo baseball cap. I don't know what you're talking about, Erica, but I will take, so I don't have any thoughts on that, but I will look into that. Thank you. Amber sends $50, goes, Spanky and team filing motions to view Turtleboy nudes, prices. I know, because that at the end of the day, that's all they're getting, is they're going to see a whole lot of Intimidator for sure. Just not the Intimidator they're hoping. The real Intimidator. Thank you. Rosaline sends $5, goes, quick clarification on hypothetically. If you were a witness, they wouldn't be able to accuse you of witness intimidation. Well, they still could. How could the Commonwealth handle two witnesses from the same case, both accusing each other of intimidation, hoping you're clear these BS charges soon? Exactly. Who knows? Who knows? Like Better Rose said today outside of court, not everything is witness intimidation. So thank you very much for that. Lewis sends $10, goes, latest on Mello, still alive, and charges on Jill, still going. Thank you. Your Camel Toe X. Camel Toe X sends $100 and says, Aidan, I love you, daddy. I miss you. And I'm not lying. This is what it says. Okay. Again, I just read the cards, and this is $100. I did not send myself $100 to say this. Okay. But this is, I read it. I'll even bring it up. Okay. This is just bad. This is really bad. Okay. But they spent $100 and they said, okay. This is uncomfortable to read. All right. I'll just show. It's like, fuck it. I'm just showing you so you can't think I'm lying about this shit. I'm not lying. Okay. So it says, Aidan, I love you, daddy. I miss you and your big bulge so bad. Okay. I know Mary Beth's lips. I don't know who Mary Beth is. Don't grab it like mine did. Can we meet at D&E tomorrow and talk? Please, daddy, call me. I promise I won't be wearing a wiretap, daddy. Okay. I don't know who the fuck spent $100 to post that. Again, I'm just reading the cards. I'm not meeting anyone at D&E Pizza tomorrow. I'm not meeting anyone at D&E Pizza anywhere. I don't care how big your camel toe is. It's not going to happen. No camel toe is worth that. Okay. That was creepy. That was fucking creepy. Oh my God. Oh my God. That was just, but again, they paid $100. I have to read it. I have to. Didn't want to. Okay. Anything else? A little uncomfortable reading that, but they spent $100. $100 is $100. Okay. Do we have any cash apps here? No more turtle chats. I can't take any more. Oh, Jill Daniels and Jim have a hearing the same time as mine on 3/8. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, dude, I am having my arraignment in Stoughton District Court on March 18th. And they're probably going to try to revoke my bail that day for the stupid video. And on the same day, Jim Ferris and Jill Daniels have court in a case in which I am the victim, which happened at the same exact place. You have to be fucking kidding me. What? Oh my God. Oh, all right. So, all right, next up. That's wild. Marianne sent $25 and says, the judge shut down Bradel PDQ when he brought up vid. Okay. He shut down. I don't know what PDQ means. Okay, thank you. And Rebecca sent a whole bunch of $1 donations. So I'm just going to read one. It says the Massachusetts Commission on Judicial Conduct. Okay, thank you, Rebecca. All right, cool. All right, guys. Well, it's fucking late, dude. It's late, but we've got over 5,000 people still watching. It's almost 1 a.m. Great show, 4-hour show. We didn't even get to the Karen Reed stuff, which I still cover, but we did all mine today. You know, on tomorrow night and during the sex cult, 10 o'clock, and then Saturday night, we'll have more shit to get through. All right. So anyway, guys, I'm out of here. I love all you fine people. Keep up the great work. Brush your teeth. Get some sleep. And, maybe get some exercise a little bit. Let's get in good shape. All right. You guys have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow night for Sex Cult. Peace.